guys. I'm Fancy.
And I'm Mac.
And you're watching the Good Wives Network. So, the other night we did the incident report from Waukesha, Wisconsin, Sheriff's Department for Gypsy. And we did not get to finish and go through Nick's portion of this. Now, we're not going to go through the whole thing because up until they're apprehended, it's pretty much the same.
Right.
There was a couple of things different in his portion than hers. There is a point where Deputy Danielski makes contact with Stephanie and Charles, and Charles lets them know that his mother is actually the owner of the home that Nick and his family live in. He advised them that the side entrance is the main entrance of the home. They did not believe there were any weapons inside the residence. They didn't believe Nick was to be suicidal or homicidal. They collected a written statement from Charles's mother. She stated that Charles that day informed her that Nick and Gypsy arrived in town on 6/13/15. She hadn't spoken to Nick in about 6 months. She's never met Gypsy. She agreed if they needed to, they could download her cell phone. And then Deputy O'Toole was advised that Deputy Whitstone had tried to contact Nicholas on his phone and he was not answering the phone. And then they were trying to make contact with their throw phone. So they tried that way. He did not respond that way either. Then the other person who was interviewed that morning was Janice's fiance, Robert. And he stated he did not know Nick real well, but he's a good kid. He did not think they needed to do all this and that they had the wrong person. He said if they just let him know they needed to talk to Nick, he would have gone in and got him. And Robert didn't even know Nick had gone to Missouri, but he declined to let them download his phone. He was like, nah, you ain't getting me on that. No. So, and he even wrote in his written statement that they think that I think you have the wrong guy. So his family, they did not believe at all that Nicholas could have done this. It was a shock to Stephanie when they told Stephanie, so it was really, it was hard on them, I think. And I think they did not realize what they'd actually, kind of gotten themselves into with that. Just a second. So I'm pulling up the incident report here. And so we've gone through that now. So this is where it picks up. It picks up after, so Goda John was taken into custody by tactical operators on scene at 9:31 hours. Hi, everybody. Hi. And dang it. Why does it keep doing that? No. Oh, go littler. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this bigger, and it's just not doing what I want it to do. There we go. Okay, so now I can put it right here.
Hey, Marianne and Megan, Shelby.
Hey, guys. No, I want it smaller than that. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties here.
Technical difficulties.
It's technical difficulties.
Shall we play the Jeopardy song?
All right, I think I've got it now. So, alrighty.
Music to wait by.
What'd you say?
Music to wait by.
Now it won't let me. It won't let me move it. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Now I can still see the count of people in here because I like to know how many people are watching.
Yeah.
So he was apprehended at 9:31 a.m. and then they took him back to the sheriff's department, and Detective Bustler was asked to watch him and they stuck him in interview room 2. And so Detective Bustler was asked to go back with him to the station, put him in this room, and that they would, he would eventually, sit there and watch him. So for a little bit, there was another detective, Robert Brenner. He had been observing Godejohn prior to Bressler coming from the scene and getting there, because he got there a little bit ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
So he arrives on scene at 11:50 in the morning. And then so shortly after arriving, he did assist Detective Brenner with taking Godejohn to the bathroom for a bathroom break. So he gets a bathroom break. He's been there, about 3 hours, maybe 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It should be noted that I did observe that the interview room to be in the recording status, which was indicated by the red light on the exterior of the interview room. So now his is recorded from the moment that he gets in there. Gypsy's is not, because first she goes to the hospital to get medically cleared, and then when they bring her back in, for the little bit that she's in there originally, they don't have it on because they didn't even realize, oh yeah, we forgot to turn it on in the soft interview room, which is what they call it, which is where the couch is, and she takes all her little naps and all that good stuff. So at approximately 12:30, Godejohn asks if Gypsy was okay and stated that he had been worried about her for a while. And he advised Nick that Gypsy would be going to the hospital for medical clearance and to make sure that she was okay with the various medical conditions that she has. And Nick also asked if he could hold her one last time. And then shortly thereafter, he was provided his bag lunch by Detective Brenner. And so you can see from the very beginning, Nick is very worried about Gypsy. And Gypsy gives no fucks about Nicholas in this.
Nope.
It's disgusting to me.
He's constantly asking if she's okay.
Yeah.
And can I hold her? And yeah.
So then about 1:30, he asks if there was any way for him to find out when Gypsy was medically cleared. And the detective advised Nicholas that once Gypsy returned from medical clearance, he could let him know that she had returned. So at approximately 2:49 p.m., I was then accompanied by Detective Todd Ladwig, who then took over monitoring of Godejohn. So now Detective Ladwig is in there with him, and they reset the timing on the recording. And then he continues running the log of all the activity with Nicholas from that point forward. And Ladwig stays with him all the way up until Mahaly gets there. So, and he basically gives a minute by minute almost accounting of what is going on. So every time Nicholas does something, they're accounting for it. So first off at 14:50. I always hate to do it. 14:50, 12. So 2:50. Nicholas requests to go to the bathroom. At 2:52, they reset the room.
Okay.
At 2:53, they actually escort him to the bathroom. At 2:56, they return to the interview room, and again he asks about if Gypsy is back. They don't answer him. At 3:17, he's asking about being able to hold Gypsy one last time.
Hey,
he does not elaborate any further. And again, they don't really answer him here. So then at 3:31, he asks what time it is. At 3:38, he asks about Gypsy again. At 4:04, the detective tells him that Gypsy was here and he medically cleared. And he asked if Gypsy was going to be questioned, and they just gave him a magazine to read and look at. So, they're trying to be very evasive with him, as from what I can tell. So from 4:04 to 5:08, he sits and reads his magazine or whatever. At 5:08, he asks for another magazine and how Gypsy is doing. At 5:15, he states he went to Missouri June 9th to pick up Gypsy, who got kicked out of her mom's house on the 7th. And they give him another magazine to read. So that one is interesting to me in the fact that the timeline there and him saying that she was kicked out on the 7th, I don't know if this is just their cover story right here,
Mm-hmm.
or if this is because on the 7th, the text messages on the 7th, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, indicate that Gypsy tells him that she was caught on her phone and that she tried to convince her mother it was her phone, and that she has to lay low for a couple of days till Wednesday. And then on the 8th, in the early morning of the 8th, at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so she goes dark after that. She doesn't talk to him very much after 3 o'clock. She doesn't say goodnight, nothing. And so at 4 o'clock in the morning, she gets up and she messages him back because he's getting ready to try to board he's getting ready to get ready for the bus that he's going to take on the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells him that she was thrown out of the house and she had to sleep outside with the bugs on the front patio. And I think it's really interesting that she tells them it's the front patio. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what a weird, why is she telling them it's the front patio? Because clearly, if she was out on the front patio, everybody would have seen her. And she talks about, I had to pee in the bushes. Oh, it's so terrible. I had to pee in the bushes. That you did not pee in
Yeah.
no freaking bushes.
No.
Like,
Show me
seriously, you
where.
did not. Show me what bushes you peed in.
Yeah. I want
Did
to
they
know.
photograph those bushes? Did they measure them? Did you make sure to let them know that that's where you had to pee? No? Oh. That's right.
Yeah.
Because, your mother didn't abuse you until you were 19 years old, right? So you guys were best of friends and you were just having some little arguments. And then your mom just told you to go with the boy to Wisconsin because you'll be happy. But,
Not that
you had
there's
to
four
be
sheds on
outside.
the property, right? They got
Right,
four
right,
sheds. I mean, she could have
right. Why
picked a
didn't she go,
shed if that was the
go lay
case.
down and curl up in the damn toddler bed?
Whatever. Yeah.
Seriously, like, honestly, if she wanted to, she could have just crawled back in the damn window and gone to sleep in her room, and her mother would have never known. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, Dee Dee wasn't
Seriously, man,
getting up.
she really was pulling his strings, man.
Yeah, for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
then at 3 o'clock on the 8th is when she tells him that they're going to get her feeding tube changed. If there wasn't that interaction, if we did not have the video from the hospital showing that Dee Dee was there on the 8th, I would have thought maybe something happened on the 7th because that's the last day that Dee Dee crossed off, right? So
Mm-hmm.
could it have
Mm-hmm.
happened in the early morning of the 8th instead of the early morning of the 9th? But instead, Dee Dee does go to the hospital with her and she marks off the 7th, but she doesn't mark off the 8th. And she certainly doesn't mark off the 9th. The 7th is the last day that Dee marks anything off. So I'm really thinking, somebody brought this up in one of the groups the other day, and they said that they think when she got back from the hospital that maybe they were like ambushed right then and there, and there's a 6-hour gap, and I want to see, we cannot see on the actual medical files, they don't have a date, they have a date but they don't have a time on it. So I was hoping I could see if it really was a 6-hour wait or anything, but we've not been able to find a time stamp on there of what time she checked herself out. Now she did check herself out, she never mom do it, she checked herself out. And if you watch that video, we've been looking at this Carly Greg
Carly Gregg, yeah.
Carly Gregg story. And, if you watch the video of her going into the house, she's so normal. She goes into the
Mm-hmm.
house, she brings the dog in, she's just walking
Mm-hmm.
around, all before that. The same thing with Gypsy. Like, I there's no doubt in my mind that Carly had already planned what she was going to do that day, like, and
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
same thing with Gypsy. Like, you see her in this hospital, and I'm really confused because the the electric wheelchair is not used, and David Blanchard is like, well, that's the one they use all the time and it's here. And I would think that that would make more sense, that they would have taken that one than Dee Dee having to push and everything, right? But
Yeah.
where that wheelchair is placed in the house is super, it's like there's no way it could have gotten out unless all that shit all over the house was
Yeah,
not
which is
there
what I
like
think she trashed it. I think Gypsy trashed the house. I do. I just I think she trashed the entire house.
yeah,
Whatever was going on, I don't know what it was, whether she wanted it to look like somebody broke in or somebody was robbing them, or I don't know.
that they were
But
leaving or whatever. I don't know.
right.
That's one of the
Or
things
she
that
could
I'm
have been
trying to figure
packing.
out.
I don't know. But yeah, that
Yeah, but
that chair's back in there and there's bags that are out,
right,
there's
right.
not a clean path for it to go
And
in
then
or out. So that's
no,
weird.
and so it would have had to been picked up and moved over all that stuff if it was there, And I'm
Hmm.
also thinking somebody said something about there being some DNA on the actual wheelchair, and I have not verified that. I saw that the other day and I thought, "Oh, I need to go back and look and see," because I have all the list of those things, but I didn't look through all of it before, and I'm very suspicious about a lot of it. I mean, we talked about the moving evidence and all these different things, but
Hmm.
I really think something went down on the 8th because Dee Dee didn't cross her day off. There's over 8 hours. So 6 hours while she's supposedly at the hospital. And then there's like another hour later in the evening that she goes to him, and another hour later on in the middle of the morning, that she goes to him. And I'm thinking that's the night, she said, I made
I think
peace
so,
with
Tanya.
her. Didn't Nick say he's interrogation? He was in the cab waiting on her to come out for 45 minutes. I'm positive I heard that. Yeah, I think so. Um, but that would not have given her enough time to trash the house like she did. Now, Nicholas did state that the house was a mess. He couldn't
Hmm.
believe they lived like that. And
Hmm.
Gypsy had told me that something about one of the sheds had just been cleaned out. And that's why all that shit was supposedly in the back room. But and I always assumed it was the rainbow shed because I didn't realize those other 3 sheds were hers, and they are. Um, and so one of them is empty, then the other one has like construction stuff in there and some odd
Hmm.
things in there. And so I'm wondering if that's what they were doing during this period of time that she goes dark with Nicholas.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I want to see if we can figure out what time she really got back the um from the hospital, because
Hmm.
I just think for 6 hours for a freaking tube that didn't need to be changed, that's really suspicious to me. And I'm wondering if that's Dee Dee telling her, "All right, fine, get out. You can go with the boy to Wisconsin, whatever. I'm tired of arguing with you." And she says, "Well, Mom, will you at least take me to the hospital, and I'll get my feeding tube changed one last time, because then I'll be good for a year. And I just want to do that, and maybe we can do that. And then, yeah, Mom, I think it's best if I go," because Dee Dee looks very forlorn. I don't know. She doesn't look
She looks
happy when they're
tired to me. She looks
yes,
tired,
tired,
worn out.
exactly, worn out. And I'm wondering if that's why the wheelchair, the push one was used, because I'm wondering if Dee Dee needed that to be able to like lean on,
Support
you
herself.
know, support herself, because she
Because
would
I've
not have
been
been
there.
able
I've
to do
been
that.
there with that. Yeah,
Me
I
too.
know.
Me too.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes if you're going to the hospital or you have a doctor that's in the hospital and they're a country
Yeah.
freaking mile in the hospital,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice to have the wheelchair. And then if you get tired, you can sit down for a sec. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
that it was probably for support, I bet.
Yeah, she looked very tired, like she didn't feel well. I thought so
Hmm.
too. And let's all remember, in Gypsy's accounting of events, Dee Dee was killed in a blue nightgown, a blue nightgown. And what was she wearing at the hospital, Mac?
Looked blue to me.
Looked blue to me. And
Looked
guess
very
what?
blue to me.
That is nowhere in the house. I have looked and looked and looked and looked. And unless it's in that back room under a bunch of freaking shit, that is not there. Now, here's the funny thing that I think is really, really interesting. Christy and Rod go there within days, and they've already got a U-Haul truck. They go in there and they don't. Christy said they donated a lot of stuff to Goodwill, and then they packed up all the other stuff for Gypsy and they brought it home and they put it in the garage and in a storage shed for her. And I'm wondering what happened to the car. But here's the thing. Claudia, her sister, Dee Dee's sister, mentioned to a friend that was up on Ivory Rose's panel that she took one of Dee Dee's moo-moos. One. That's really weird. Like, why did you just want one? Why didn't you want the rest of them? And why is one missing and you're saying you took one? Just, I mean,
Weird. That's weird.
Yeah,
for sure.
it is. It is weird. It is weird.
Hmm.
But yeah, she could have thrown it in the trash exactly before it got emptied, because she did make sure to say that the trash came and picked everything up, blah, 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 fuck, blah, blah.
I'm pretty sure the trash did come that next day, though.
Yeah. Yep. So, that's at, let's see. So 16 is
She
4,
planned it
5.
down to when the garbage came. Damn, this
Yeah,
girl.
she planned it down to when the garbage came. And if you've watched Becca Scoops' newest video on the 7th, do you know what was happening on the 7th when, she tells Nicholas that she got caught on her phone, but she can still talk to him on Skype, which is really weird because I don't know. When my mom got mad at me for shit, I wasn't allowed to do anything. Like if I was on the phone and I was grounded from the phone, I was grounded from everything else too. I was grounded from TV. I wasn't allowed to do shit. Like, and
my
when
mom
kids...
took me to work with her. I shit you not.
Yeah.
Yes. She took me to work with her. By God, she was like, I'm going to keep my eyes on you.
Hey guys. Hi, Aviel. Right. Exactly.
Hey,
And
Ava.
yeah. And so, it just, to me, what happens on the 7th is she's searching for how to hide the smell of a
Right.
decomposing body, not a dead body, a decomposing body. And I just think that's interesting. And I think that Nick did mention something about the baby powder. I think he saw the baby powder, which again to me indicates that maybe Dee Dee was gone before Nicholas gets in there on the 10th, the morning of the 10th. She also, that's where she found out that baby powder everywhere could do that. We assumed it always was because, Dee Dee just used a lot of baby powder because she was so large and she couldn't take a shower in her house because there was no shower, so she was probably doing a lot
put
of
them
wet
in them
wipes,
creases. Yes.
and put them in the creases and stuff. But now we know that the baby powder all over the wheelchair in the bathroom, all over the bedroom, is all to hide the smell of the decomposing body, as well as dryer sheets. Those damn dryer
And
sheets that
how
you
they
all
were
were like,
laying down in the shape of how she was laying.
yes, yes,
That
yes. I mean,
first
it is
set,
the
they are
exact
right
shit.
like her legs were, like
Yep.
were her body, or aren't they? Bizarre.
Yep. It's very bizarre.
How would you
But
know that's?
how would you know that's the way your mom's going to end up laying when she's dead? How would you know that? That's interesting to me.
Unless they made
And
sure they put her that way,
yeah. I mean, she could have like diagrammed it, for crying out loud. Like, because she went in and showed Nick exactly where she's going to be laying, right here, and eat 4 times, right there. That's where she's going to be, right here, So
I mean,
very
come on,
interesting.
the planning is just beyond. I mean, there's people, wow, who have done less and got more time.
Yeah, for sure. Sure, for sure. And I just think, again, AVL, you're right. I feel like she was put there, right? I feel like that. That's what I feel. So, it just, to me, it seems like that she's not in a position to sleep. That's not how someone sleeps unless you like passed out. Like, oh my God, I'm just so tired. Like I, it's not sleeping.
Hey, Christine.
Definitely.
Glad you're here.
Hey, Christine, sweetie. And by the way, guys, I do have my Cash App and our PayPal running along the bottom there. If you'd like to send us anything to help us with, everything we do here. Also, Super Chat is enabled. So if you have questions that you want us to see, Mac is going to be watching for those, and she'll pop them up if you put them with a Super Chat, and we'll make sure we get them answered. What did you think of Gypsy's 22-week video? I was on Starlight's Hello Starlight's panel today, and
Yeah,
we
that's
talked
where I
about it,
saw
and
it
that
too.
was
Yeah.
just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it was almost as if, in fact, it was exactly as if, you remember when she decided she was going to be an advocate, and
Yeah.
she sat there and basically read a pamphlet on Munchausen's, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, so like, okay, so I'm just going to read this little pamphlet. I don't know anything, but I'm going to read the pamphlet. I feel like she literally took the dummies book, opened it up to week whatever, and wrote it all down for herself so that she could just be like, okay, so yeah, I'm feeling her kick for about 2 hours a day at this point in time. And she's not very active during the day. Like, check,
From
check,
9
check,
to
check.
11. From
Right, from
9 to
9 to
11.
11 every day, she gets crazy and da 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 da. Um, you know, and Taco Junebug, I think you could be right about her not taking her medications because she was really concerned about her daughter. I mean, maybe she walked in on her
Could
and
be.
saw whatever, a decomposing body, and maybe that's when she said, "Gypsy, don't hurt me. What are you do? What are you looking at?"
I mean,
You know,
that's crazy.
even a vacation won't get in the way. Vanessa, that's cute. That's so funny. So a lot happened on the 7th. That's when she starts really looking into, how am I going to finish off this plan? I've already got Nick en route. I've already got my escape plan. I think she had that, the Gone Girl kind of thing. I think she knew that's what she was pulling. I'm surprised she didn't have a freaking like diary of written stuff to make it, the whole story just sink in there just like that girl. But then that would have
Mm-hmm.
to say that, she would have had to been talking about her mom being abused. And that story didn't come into her mind. I'm telling you this. Like, if it was about abuse, then she would have done that. She would have had a diary that was like, today my mom did this. If she's planning this for 3 years and her
Mm-hmm.
whole thing is going to be abuse, right? That's what she's going to do. She would have been cataloging the crap out of that. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
no way she would have just been like, I'm having a great day, blah, 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 blah. She'd be cataloging and writing it down. So that way, when they got it, she'd be like, I've been keeping a diary for years of the treatment that
Hey,
my
Noodles.
mother has done. Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't do that. She doesn't mention any type of abuse or anything like that in the interrogation. And that's because I don't think that was her plan at all. I think her plan was to pull the Gone Girl of all Gone Girls, frame Nick for everything,
Yep.
and that's it. And he would have gone down for both murders if Gypsy was not found,
Hey, Kim.
and she would have run off into the sunset with Dan or David or Sebastian or any other man that I guess she was canoodling with during this period of time. There's a lot, you know. And thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that. So I just think that she
I
had,
felt bad for her too, Vanessa. I did. I think a lot of us did at first.
yeah, I think she had an
Like,
alternate plan.
right. She
Right.
did.
Right. Yeah. You did feel bad for her. I mean, Amy, when, I know with me, but like, what was that moment for you that the first thing that you thought, hey, that doesn't sound right. I better listen to this.
I would probably think on the Dr. Phil, you just get that vibe, that interview. I think that's the first
Yes.
I ever heard or saw. And I was like, you're just the way she was answering questions and stuff. I'm like, you had way more to do with this.
Yeah.
Even if I do believe her story, which I did at the time. But I was like, you had way more to do with this. And then once it got
Right.
close to her, getting out and
Right.
finding you and listening and being educated on it and paying
Yeah.
attention and what she's doing
Yeah.
now, yeah. And then the interrogation, it was all over for me. I was like, that's it.
Probably it will be. Yes, it will
I
be.
know what I need to know about you now. I
Yeah,
know
exactly.
everything I need to know about her.
Right. The interview where she said she didn't identify as a murderer, Glitterbug says.
Yes, that
I
too.
watched the interrogation after she got out. If I had watched it before, I don't think I would have supported her. The moment the text messages and the brownie video came out, which I believe was about the Dr. Phil interview time, that was just not sitting right at all. Yeah, exactly. And Mommy Dead and Dearest handpicked different, the ones that they wanted to make the narrative that they were going for, with Nick being this, very dominant, aggressive guy, and she's just this poor little victim, and she'd never heard about anything before in her life, and she's never kissed a boy or had any type of relationships. Yeah, that whole freaking stop sob story. Oh, yeah, you can ask questions, Kane. Yeah, absolutely. Or Kanye. I don't know how you say that name.
I think it's Kane.
I think it's Kane. I think it's Kane. Okay. So going back to the timeline though, so that was all, some of the stuff on the 7th was very premeditated. And it just, ugh, uh, uh, uh. So then at 5:38, he asks, and this one's interesting to me. He asks if Gypsy is in handcuffs and getting special treatment. And I don't know, like I guess maybe that could just be that he's worried that she's being treated the same way he's being treated. And he doesn't want her treated that way. Or maybe through the door, he saw her walk by and she wasn't in handcuffs, because his room did have a window, I think, in that interrogation room, like at the top. So he could have seen the top of her head or whatever. But I don't know. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. You're so
Thank you
sweet.
so much,
You
Vanessa.
pop that up there just to give her a shout out. Because I can't pop them up unless, or this thing that I've carefully placed here.
I can do it if you need me to.
Yeah, so if you can pop them up, that'd be great. So, so at 17:38, he asks about her being in handcuffs and getting special treatment. What do you feel about that statement, Mac? What do you think?
Which statement? I'm sorry, I was paying attention to Vanessa.
It's okay. Asking if Gypsy is in handcuffs and getting special treatment. What do you feel?
I think that is. I don't think he's asking that in a like I'm being treated like this, she's being treated like that. I really don't. I think he's just so concerned that she's not being hurt or that she's being treated well. That's how I feel about it.
Right. I think that's probably the most likely thing. He didn't want her treated the way he was being treated, and they treated him pretty poorly. I mean, this whole thing. So if you think about it, he's taken in custody at 9:31 in the morning, right? The detectives do not get into his room till after midnight the next day. So he sat there for almost 24 hours, like not really, but what, it's 9 a.m., 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, 16 hours, he sat there handcuffed for 16 freaking hours while she took nap after nap. And it's really interesting because it's going to come up in this. So at 6 o'clock, they reset the recording room for number 2 again. At 6:11, he goes to the bathroom break. At 6:13, I forgot the question I was going to ask. I'll try to remember. Okay, no problem. Yeah, just drop the chat, and Amy's going to be watching the chat. So
yeah, I'll
for all of that. So at 8:13, yeah, she took 6 naps, guys. Yep. 6 freaking naps during the time. So at 18:13, so 6:13, he's back in the room. At 16:25, they gave him a new magazine. So this is like his 3rd or 4th magazine. And he asks them for a blanket. So it is 6:25 at night before they even considered giving him a freaking blanket. and she's over there taking 9,000 naps. The Sleeping Beauty
Mhm.
over there, Miss.
Mhm.
I'm naming my baby Aurora. Yeah.
Miss
Okay.
Aurora. Mhm.
Yeah. So at 6:45, they gave him his blanket. At 6:56, he's asking about what time is it, and he asks again about Gypsy. At 7:02, they give him a new magazine. At 7:07, they tell him, "Oh, well, you asked how she's doing, and she's sleeping." Um, Right. They didn't seem tired at any point. So 16 hours, he's handcuffed, he's on a rickety chair, he doesn't sleep, and they still go in there and question him at 12:18 in the morning, like what the F, or 12 o'clock in the morning. 12:18 was the night before when they found Dee Dee's body. About that time was when they breached the door. But 12 o'clock in the morning, and didn't the detective interview Gypsy? Why didn't he also interview Nick? Because they were both sent there. So think about this. Okay. So Stan is a guy, and he went in with
Right,
Gypsy
Tiffany.
because
Yep.
he knows that she likes to talk to men. He's got all that, right? So
Mhm.
do seizures make you sleepy? No, but seizure medicine can make you sleepy, and Xanax can make you sleepy, you
How
know.
yes, Xanax make you
And
sleep for
then
days.
they sent Mahali in, and she came in and she was kind to him. And this is a very I have to look up the name of it again. Just give me a second, because it's an actual tactic.
Having
The
a
read
seizure will
technique.
make you sleepy
Okay,
too.
so
That would
it's
definitely
called
make you sleepy.
the read technique. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, so the read technique.
I agree, Noodles. We were just talking about that earlier. I said I don't know how anybody involved in this case, legally, whatever aspect, that had any part of what happened with Nick, they should just feel so ashamed. Like so
Right.
ashamed.
So, the read technique consists of a three-phase process beginning with fact analysis, followed by the behavior analysis interview, a non accusatory interview designed to develop investigative and behavioral information, and then it's followed, when appropriate, by the
Hey,
read
True Crime.
9 steps of interrogation. And let me see if I can get, so here's the 9 steps. So there's positive confrontation, where they advise the suspect that the evidence has led the police to the individual as a suspect, and they offer the person an early opportunity to explain why the offense took place. She did
Mm-hmm.
that. They try to shift blame away from the suspect to some other person or set of circumstances that prompted the suspect to commit the crime. That is to develop themes containing reasons that will psychologically justify or excuse the crime. Themes may be developed or changed to find one to which the accused is most responsive. Now, Stan Hancock does this with Gypsy, and he's like, "Did you know that Nicholas was going to do this?" And the second that he gave it to her, she just went with it. Just like Chris Watts, when the investigator suggested maybe Shanann had
Was
done
abusing the
something to
kids
the
or something.
children
Mm-hmm.
prior to him doing
Yep.
something, and he ran, yes, and then I had to hurt her, right?
Yep. Because she was hurting. Yep. Oh
I'm
my
sorry, Amy,
word.
what? You
Yeah,
went
I
roboty
remember
for a
that.
second.
I remember that. I
What'd
remember
you say?
him. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I just
right.
remember that. I
So
remember
then, yeah, I can hear you now.
they were trying to say that, like maybe she was hurting the girls or something,
Mhm.
and they're leading
Right,
him.
right. They're leading
That's
him.
how I see it.
And that's
Yeah.
when he asked for his father to come in. They let his father come in. He tells his father Shanann hurt the girls, and that's where that started to come from, because the investigator had put it out there to
Mhm.
see what he would do with it. Now she knew that
Mhm.
that Shanann did not do anything to those girls,
Mhm.
just like Stan knew that Gypsy was probably involved, and Mahali used it in the same way. She's like, basically she's trying to say, well, did Gypsy get you to do this? Did she know you were going to do this? And he's like, like, well, yeah, she asked me to, right? So, and then she's like, oh, wow, that's terrible, So that's the kind of rapport they're establishing at that time. So then number three, the step three is to try to minimize the frequency of suspect denials. So that's where you're trying to get them to begin to give you truthful statements, and you call them on the denying of things. So they're trying to minimize this denial down. And that stands whole thing with the, you don't want the snowball to keep going and get so big and blah blah blah, right? And for Mahali, it was her being like, now if you want to save Gypsy, you really love her, Nick, you're gonna tell us what happened and what
You're,
you did.
yeah, she said you're not going to let her take the fall.
Right. Meanwhile, Gypsy's in there setting him up for the whole fall.
Exactly.
So number four is, at this point, the accused will often give a reason why he or she or they did or not or could not commit the crime. Gypsy did that. Oh, I would
Yes,
never
never.
hurt
You
my
don't want Gypsy to
mother.
get in trouble, do you?
Right. Right.
Yep.
And so then investigators try to use this to move towards the acknowledgement of what they did. Number five is to reinforce sincerity to ensure that the suspect is receptive. And Mahali was very kind to him. She undid his cuffs. She asked if he was comfortable. She asked if he was hungry or needed water within seconds of getting in the room. So he's now seeing her as not threatening like the investigators who have kept him, in handcuffs and given him no information the whole time, and basically just give him magazines and shut him up, like just give him some magazines to look at. We don't want to ask him anything. We want to do anything. We just want to make him sit and think and think and think and drive himself crazy. So by the time Mahali gets here, he's all primed to talk. Right. So
Not just that, they know he's talking. They have a camera, you know what I mean? They know he's talking.
yep,
So let's just let him
yep,
go. Let him go and
just
talk.
let him go. Yep. And it's psychological warfare. So number
Yep.
six, the
Yep.
suspect will become quieter and listen. That's when Gypsy's leaning forward and she's trying to garner information. So then they move the theme of the discussion towards offering alternatives. If the suspect cries at this point, you infer
Okay, you guys. Mm-hmm.
Number seven is to pose the alternative question, giving two choices for what happened, one more socially acceptable than the other. And the suspect is expected to choose the easier option, but whichever alternative the suspect chooses, guilt has now been admitted. And
Right.
so then there's always a third option, which is to maintain that they did not commit the crime. So, number eight is to lead the suspect to repeat the admission of guilt in front of witnesses and develop corroborating information to establish the validity of the confession. And then number nine is to document the suspect's admission or confession and have him or her
Hey,
prepare a
Jojo.
statement, audio, video, or written. So that is the read technique, and they absolutely 100% put that into place with this actual questioning of these suspects. And so you can see that with Mahali and how she established rapport with him. So, at night, so it's seven, no, hold on, 19, 12,
She used his
seven.
love.
Yeah.
She used his
Okay.
love for her
She did. She
against
loved
him.
his love. Yep. Yep. So, so at 7:07, he's told that Gypsy's sleeping. And then at 7:35, Detective Cole comes in and he asks Nicholas if he wants any McDonald's. Um, at 7:41 p.m., he's asking what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
At 8:15, they told Nicholas that Gypsy was eating and that she asked about him. This is the only time she asked about him at this point. So then at 7:24, they notate that he is talking to himself. And then at 8:24, they notate that he's talking to himself. At 9 p.m., they reset the timer on the recording room number 2, and he again is asking, how was Gypsy doing? At 9:19, they take him on a bathroom break, and again, he asks about Gypsy. Yeah, she did. She did ask about him one time. One time. We have that from last night, not last night, but the one we did the other day. We have the time stamp of when she asked. So at 7 or at 9:30, no, 9, hold on, I got to do it again. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9:30. They told Nick Gypsy's doing fine, and then Detective Bustler has returned. My question was, she's so concerned cleaning up the blood. So why was she trying to change the evidence? Because she wanted to tell a different alternative story. She did not expect to be caught with Nicholas. And if she did expect to be caught with Nicholas because the plan changed and she wasn't going to go with Nicholas. Okay. There was no bus ticket for her. There was a return bus ticket for him, no bus ticket for her. Um, and so that is a problem. And no, Joshua, they cannot let them sit and talk together. In fact, our fan club thought that that was a great way to talk about how what we were proposing of the having a mental health advocate in stations on every shift across the country in every station for when they're interrogating someone who could be like Nicholas. She tried to tell us that that was ruled unconstitutional because in 1987 there was a case of Arizona v. Morrow, and Morrow, he and his wife were both suspects in the murder of their child, and the woman kept wanting to talk to her husband, and her husband had invoked his right to not talk before a lawyer got there, and they let her go in there and they tape recorded their conversation, and that was her, a suspect, his co-conspirator, getting a confession out of her. They used it in his court case, but later it was thrown out because they said it was a setup and that he should have known that they were recording and they should never have let his wife in the room. So that's what happened. But what we're advocating for is something completely different. I'm not advocating for a mental health person to go in there and try to get a confession. I'm actually advocating for the questioning to be stopped and evaluate whether that suspect is able to understand their Miranda rights, understand the consequences, and do they understand that they don't have to answer anything? Do they understand that, they are afforded, that a lawyer doesn't cost them anything? They can ask for a lawyer, they can ask for a public defender right then and there. So there is all of that, and that's what we're advocating for, not for someone to go in there, especially a co-conspirator, and freaking elicit a confession. So that would have gotten thrown out in court. So I'm glad that they didn't let them talk, obviously. So, all right. So he asks how Gypsy's doing at 9:19. He asks about a bathroom break. At 9:30, they tell him that Nick is doing, or that Gypsy's doing okay, and Detective Bustler returns. At 9:51, he asks again, what time is it? At 10:13, he's wondering, when will someone be here to talk to him? They at 10:29, he asks about Gypsy. At 10:40, he asks about Gypsy. At 10:50, they advised him that the detectives from Missouri are on scene and are going to talk to Gypsy first. So that's setting up the thought process of, well, your co-defendant is already singing down here. We've already talked to her. We just need you to confirm some shit for us because, she's already sung like a canary. That's that tactic that they're going to use.
Yeah. And they're allowed.
They leave him sitting there another 2 hours. So at 10:59, they said that that Nicholas told detectives, or told Nick, detectives are talking to Gypsy and they will talk to him next. And then Nick asked if he would be able again to hold Gypsy.
Yeah.
Just fucking criminy. So
breaks
then
my
at
heart.
11,
It really does.
It does. She had no care for him whatsoever, and he's sitting here talking about, can I hold her one
just
last
to take
time?
somebody's love and
just throw it.
Just use it against him. That's so.
Yeah. So at 11:19, he tells the officers that he is tired and he wants a soda. So, so then at 11:27, they get him his soda. At 11:37, he again asks about Gypsy and the chance of holding her. Jesus Christ, this is so painful. At
Yes, I know.
11:45, the detective Ladwig leaves. At 11:53, he asked what time is it and if there was any idea of how much longer it's going to be. And then he stated he hopes the outcome of tonight goes good. I don't see why it wouldn't, because he still thinks, oh, I did this for love, and they're going to understand that her mother was terrible to her, and I was saving her, and I only did this for us so that she wouldn't be tortured anymore, and all of that good shit. So at midnight they reset the recording room again, and then at 12:11 the Missouri detective entered the interview room to speak with Nick. At 2:17 a.m. the interview with Goda John is concluded. And then we go into, so after this, we're going to go into them actually serving the search warrant the next morning. And we'll talk about all the evidence they collected on his side, not all of hers. But I want to bring up now, we're going to go to the case file from Waukesha, where Mahali makes her notes about this, of what happened. So she says, on June 15, 2015, while assisting with the homicide investigation, reference to the death of Claudinia Ann Blanchard, I was assigned to respond to Waukesha County, Wisconsin, to locate and interview Nicholas P. Godejohn, date of birth 5/20/1989. Let me pop this up on the screen too. I want you guys to be able to see that at least. Okay, so there you guys can see it. Move it over so I can still see chat. Okay, so all right, so she says at June 16th of 2015 at 12:11 hours, I made contact with Nicholas P. Godejohn in an interview room within the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department. Nicholas was advised of his Miranda warning, to which he acknowledged he understood by both initialing and signing the Greene County Miranda form. She did nothing to explain it to him other than to say, you've seen that done on TV, right? Where they read them their rights.
They weren't read. They weren't read.
Yeah, they weren't read. She didn't read them. She just told him, here, sign this, and he's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And
so
did he really, when he
no.
reads and writes on a 4th grade level, did he really know? I don't think so.
No. Okay, hang on. Yeah, and he always thought that the dust, the baby powder in the room, he did mention it. He thought it was dust. So that baby powder was already there when he got there. Just saying. So
Yep.
He said Nicholas goes on to say that he and Gypsy Blanchard first met via the internet dating site ChristianDatingForFree.com. Nicholas said he met a couple people prior to meeting Gypsy on the dating site. Nicholas said the name Gypsy used on the dating site was Gypsy Rose, and he used Nicholas Godejohn. Nicholas said 4 days after meeting Gypsy on the dating site, he and Gypsy decided to start a committed relationship. Nicholas said, the way that we clicked, it made me seem like we somehow knew we were right for each other.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if this point in time, does he tell her that he's a 500-year-old vampire that enjoys killing? Or did she foster that later? Did she go, oh, well, he's a 500-year-old vampire that likes killing. I found my mark. So. Yeah. So Then Nicholas said he and Gypsy tried communicating on the internet site meetme.com. Hey, that's a new one. I need to look in that one. However, the site was very difficult to use, so they didn't use the site long. Nicholas said they
Mm-hmm.
did communicate via the social networking site Facebook. Nicholas said he used his name, Nicholas Godejohn. Nicholas said that there were a lot of Facebook accounts that have been deleted, but the ones he mostly remembered communicating with Gypsy on were names Emma Rose, Gypsy Rose, and Nicholas Bella Rose. Nicholas said Emma Rose and Gypsy Rose had been deleted. However, he suspected the Nicholas Bella Rose was still active. Now, the Nicholas Bella Rose is the one where she posted the Beauty and the Beast from the Little community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the case book right now. This is the case book of from the Greene County Sheriff's Office, and this is Officer Mahali's accounting of speaking to Nicholas. So okay, so then before providing the name on Facebook account that Gypsy used to communicate with him, Nick began telling me about his June 2015 trip to Springfield, Missouri to get Gypsy after she was kicked out of her mother's home. Nicholas explained he got on a Greyhound bus, he rode to Springfield, Missouri, and walked to a Days Inn hotel. Nicholas could not recall what kind of clothing he had been wearing when he got off the bus and walked to the hotel in Springfield, Missouri. However, he thought it could have been athletic clothing. Nicholas explained he had luggage with him when he got off the bus. Nicholas described the luggage as being a red and black Marlboro cigarette duffel bag. And then, hold on. Bring it back out.
She really played the damsel in distress, didn't she?
She did. The brownie video, because I think I don't know. You know what's funny is I talked to Christy about that. I was like, oh my God, why did you guys give that to HBO? And she's like, oh, it was in the discovery file, whatever, blah blah blah. We gave him the whole file, and she was like, and Gypsy was like, Mom, they used the brownie video. Why'd you let them do that? And she was like,
it shows what a freaking heartless skank you are. That's why.
Right.
Trying to cheer Nick up because he is beside himself, just bawling about what just happened. And this is what she did. She turned the camera on and started doing her little thing to cheer him up. What the fuck, girl?
Right. Well, she did use a lot of cleaner in that house, carpet cleaner and everything else. And they did have a carpet cleaner in the house. So Nicholas explained Gypsy had been kicked out of her mother's home and he was worried sick about her because she was wandering the streets. So on the 7th, she supposedly wandering the streets. And Nicholas said he sent Gypsy a text message and he believed she must have found a free Wi-Fi area because Gypsy was able to text him back. Nicholas said he used his cell phone to text Gypsy. His cell phone number is given. And Nicholas said Gypsy communicated with him via Yahoo ID. So Nicholas said it is a messenger service through Yahoo, but he did not have the details about the service. So Greene County Sheriff, it's the supplemental report. That's
you.
a lot more info in here. That one on Facebook account is still active. Yes. So that proves that Christy only has one agenda when it comes to Gypsy. She shouldn't give rats a bastard. Yep. No, 100%. Told you. She did say she was high when the brownies incident happened, and pretty sure she was, but still no excuse.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that get high that don't fucking unalive people.
Excuse me. Right, exactly. So
I mean, it's something that's already in you. It's not drugs or alcohol or anything else is not going to make you be that person. You're already that person.
So Noodles, I think the reason that she wouldn't have used cat litter deodorizer or rug deodorizer or anything like that. Now there could have been some on the rug that she used to clean up the blood that she didn't do a very good job of cleaning up. But if she had used that, that would have shown premeditation. But with the way that she was thinking, my mother already uses baby powder. So this says that baby powder can do that. And she's thinking, so if I just throw it all over my mom's room, they'll just think that my mother was using baby powder
Baby powder,
all the
which
time.
we did, at first. We did.
We did. We did. And I'm sure Dee Dee was using it, but I just think that
Not to that
she,
extent.
yeah, not to that extent. But if she had tried to use like, um, oh no, I think she was high at that point. She had her mother's pills. She did. She did. And we've always thought that the talk screen came back clean, but you know what? We've never seen that talk screen. And the only people that have ever said it came back clean was Gypsy
And
and
the fact
Christy
they put
in
her on Suboxone in prison, which is
prison.
usually what they give, an
Yep.
opioid. Yeah, that's trying to come off.
No glitter bug. It is in the front room. I think on the mantle. It is in the bathroom on the wheelchair, which means either the wheelchair was in the front room or maybe it was in the bedroom when she threw the, stuff all over it. I don't freaking know. But yeah.
Because
Why would
let's
she cover her room in baby powder?
look at Dee Dee's hair or the
Right.
blankets or whatever. Is there baby powder on that? I didn't
Nope.
see any.
Nope, I didn't see any either. Exactly.
Oh.
So, when did she put this baby powder down, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Um, no, Vanessa, it wasn't the talk screen was days after, but it would have been 4 days later, so it would have still been in the time frame, because she left there on the 12th, they got there on the 13th, and they were apprehended on the 15th. So,
Then if
uh,
she's truly doing stuff, she wouldn't have stopped. She would have kept doing
yeah,
them at Nick's
yeah,
and.
right. And she was a little horn dog, so they were having a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sex, and I know that those type of medications can make you um, rather horny, you know?
Holy balls. Plus her
Yeah,
micro deletion. Man,
yeah, yeah,
no wonder she
yeah,
squeaked.
yeah,
She
right,
squeaked. I
yeah,
can't even imagine that though. Like you're in somebody else's house for the first time and you're
right,
going to be loud while you guys are, oh my word.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's a brother, a younger brother. I mean, she is just a cat. Oh my. Yeah, she's evil to the core.
So now I think this is supposed to be a cover story right here that Nicholas said on June 10th, 2015. He was asking he was able to get Gypsy to meet him. Nicholas explained he told Gypsy the name of the hotel he was staying and and the name of the road the hotel was on. Nicholas said he did not receive any text from Gypsy for a while. And then as he was walking out of his hotel room to get a soda, he ran into Gypsy. Nicholas said Gypsy had her luggage with her when she arrived at his hotel room. So he took her luggage into the hotel room and they walked to get a soda. Nicholas said he got the soda from a vending machine located outside the hotel. Nicholas said after returning to the room for getting a soda, he and Gypsy stayed in the hotel room. Nicholas explained he was in room 227 from the time he arrived in Springfield, Missouri until June 11th, 2015, at which time he was moved to room 226. He said he checked out on June 11th, 2015, thinking they would be traveling back to Wisconsin. And Nicholas further explained, saying his return bus ticket was for June 11th, 2015. He and Gypsy, he said Gypsy was moving in with him, so he had to get a bus ticket for her as well. Nicholas explained the bus was full for the June 11th, 2015 trip. So while at the bus station on June 11th, 2015, he changed his return ticket to June 12th and purchased a ticket for Gypsy. He said after changing the bus ticket and purchasing a bus ticket for Gypsy, they returned to the hotel to stay overnight and rest. Nicholas then says he did order food from Domino's Pizza and Papa John's Pizza. Nicholas said both orders were delivered to his room, with one being on June 10th and the other being on June 11th. Nicholas denied he and Gypsy went out to eat anywhere. They did. Nicholas said he and Gypsy went back to the bus station on June 12th, 2015 to travel back to Wisconsin. Nicholas said once he and Gypsy arrived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, his mother picked him up and Gypsy from the bus station and drove them to Big Bend, Wisconsin. Nicholas said this was the first time his mother had ever met Gypsy. Um, on your community tab, please. It's in our Patreon on the free level, I believe. It's the case book. So
Mm-hmm.
um and it's in our book as well. We put the entire case file in our book. Um so here's the thing. That whole story, she Mahaly leaves out portion of this. And this is why I believe some of this story is true up here about her being at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he uses this as a way to cover for when they're on surveillance. But he told Mahali that he ran into her at the soda machine before the 10th and he didn't even recognize her. And he was like, bumped into her, didn't recognize her. And then he looked again and he was like, oh my God, Gypsy.
Uh-huh.
So I want to know, when she was at the Days Inn, was she with Dan, David, Sebastian, another freaking guy? What was she doing at the Days Inn? You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I fully do believe he ran into her somewhere and saw her and was like, why are you here? And she's like, oh, I was looking for you. But I have to get back or mom will know I'm gone. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh my God.
You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It
I
did seem
mean,
like a familiar place to her. Like she knew exactly where she was going in that Days Inn.
mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So the best ticket doesn't work for them. All right. And so after listening to Nicholas tell his initial story about meeting Gypsy, traveling to Springfield, Gypsy being kicked out of her home and their travels back to Wisconsin, I explained to him that I knew he had not told the whole truth about the events surrounding his visit to Springfield, Missouri. I explained to Nicholas that Gypsy had told a different story than he had, and I encouraged Nicholas to be honest. So that's part of the read technique right here, like I was telling you. Nicholas said,
Mm-hmm.
well, the truth is, I worship her. So there's no way I wouldn't do the honorable thing for her. What did I tell you? He's noble and
Mm-hmm.
honorable. Noble and honorable.
Mm-hmm.
AMTB, noble and honorable. So Mahali goes on and asks Nicholas if Gypsy knew he was going to kill her mother. Nicholas responded, honestly, she asked me to,
Mm-hmm.
because she felt it was her only way to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas went on to explain that Gypsy had asked him more than once to kill Dee Dee. Nicholas said they discussed him killing Dee Dee on Facebook and during text messages. Nicholas said, the truth is, okay, I'll admit it. I did actually stab her mom. I will admit it. The only reason I did it was, and I did it for me and her. That's the real reason I did it. I would have never did it if it was not for me and her. Nicholas said, I truly do worship her to the point there is nothing I would not do for her. Nicholas said if Gypsy had not asked him to kill Dee Dee, he never would have killed her. Nicholas says he does not know Gypsy's mom's real name. He only knew she was called Dee. Nicholas said Gypsy was her mother. Nicholas said Gypsy felt guilty about the whole situation. I had to make sure she was safe, meaning like I had to make sure she felt like she could be comforted by me, which I think that's interesting since it was really her comforting him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, statement to us for them that we're competent for the prison. It's pretty secured. That should be an option for him. Yeah, Joshua, those I'd like to talk with you more about that. If you would mind sending us a message at tipsforgoodwives@gmail.com, because to my understanding, the mental hospitals for the criminally insane are not where someone like Nicholas would get help. It's more like they have to have like serious mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Ken, where was Ken through all of this? Ken wasn't involved as far as I
Yeah,
know at
not
all.
yet. Uh-uh.
Yeah, no. Now I have heard some things about them saying that Ken was a correctional officer and all kinds of stuff, but nope, the person who said that they were going to send that to me, they didn't send it.
Never did. Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know about any of that. Okay. So Nicholas said Gypsy wanted to kill her mother herself, but she could not kill her mother herself because she was too skittish. Oh, I don't like blood, and I really just can't do it, Nicholas. Despite the fact that I shot her 10 times with a BB gun once, and I tried to kill her another time, and it didn't work. But I'm too squeamish. I can't. I can't do this. I can't.
Yes,
Yes,
Kathy.
he didn't know her. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's that whole thing. So Nicholas said Gypsy could not do it herself because she could not live with herself. I don't know. I
Hmm.
think she's living with herself just fine,
She
Nick.
seems to be living with herself. Yeah.
Right.
A-okay.
Right. So Nicholas said, honestly, to this day, I still feel guilty about it. I do, because I I learned so much about her mom after she told me more and more about it. After actually being able to live with her for a little while, I actually realized how good of a mom she was. So Nicholas is feeling remorse. He realizes that Dee Dee was a good mom, but just remember, was she a good mom? No. Was she a perfect
Yeah.
mom? No. Was
No.
she a person? Yeah. No, Gyps. It's the other way around. She wasn't a
Mhm.
great person. Okay. She was a scam artist. I think she did it out of necessity. I think she had stars in her eyes for being important and having celebrity notice her, that thing. But I
Mhm.
think that everything she did was in the name of giving Gypsy the most epic life while she was here on this earth. And she did not expect Gypsy to live into maturity. And I think that ultimately was Dee Dee's downfall. And so, yeah, was she a good person? No. But was she a good mom? Yeah, to be
Damn
honest with you.
straight she was a good mom.
She loved that kid. Now, of course, teaching your child to lie and cheat and steal and all that shit, that's not a good thing.
No,
But
but the mafia
it's
does it every day.
right, exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
it's still not a
So
reason. I don't give a shit,
it's
right? It's
not a
still not
reason.
a reason.
No. No, no. So Nicholas clarified that Gypsy was telling him about Dee and all of her accomplishments. And it was those things that made him feel guilty for what he had done to Dee Dee. I wonder what those accomplishments were that she was telling him. That would be interesting to
I
know.
would love to know.
Yeah.
She's accomplished to
No,
manipulate more people.
no, Gypsy does not have Munchausen either. It is malingering by proxy, and it is a
Hmm.
malingering. Gypsy is a malingerer. Her mother was a malingerer by proxy. They used it for financial gain. So no, I don't think so, because all of her real problems are tied to her chromosome disorder. Now, I do think she might have been, "Ah, I really hurt today, mom. Let's go get some more pain pills." I can see that. But no, it was all for financial gain. I don't think it was for anything else. She does like attention, but the motivation was, you know, money, financial gain.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right. Imagine if a doctor tells you that your baby won't live to see 20. Yeah. 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 And I agree with you, Noodles or Abiel. I think she learned to fake it with Dee Dee early to get her way. I'm sure she did. Like, Mom, I'm hurting today. Will you carry me from the bed to the couch,
Hmm.
please? Oh, I can't get up in the hammock today, Mom. Will you please
No.
put me in the hammock so I can swing out here? It's really funny. She's never been on a swing, but she's definitely been in a swinging fucking hammock.
Hmm.
So isn't that kind of more dangerous than a
I'm
swing?
so bored with her first time bullshit. Like, she's never had applesauce either. Are you kidding
Dude,
me?
it's part of her fucking plan
Don't
from
they
the
serve
jump.
applesauce? Don't they serve that in prison? I'm pretty sure that's one of the things they absolutely do serve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You ain't gonna tell me she ain't had no applesauce ever.
Right. Well, I never had applesauce. I never craved it before, so I never ate it. Um, but
Now
but
I
I could
put it
only
in the
eat mashed.
freezer for 30, 40 minutes.
I could only eat mashed potatoes because I do
Royal.
have this feeding tube. I'm only allowed to eat mashed potatoes and soft foods. But I
Yeah.
didn't have applesauce. I never had
No.
applesauce.
Mm-mm.
Oh, fucking
No.
dumb. Oh, so um, I asked Nicholas if the trip to Springfield on June 10th, 2015 was for the purpose of killing Dee Dee. Nicholas stated it was because I wanted to be with her and I wanted, and then he trails off. And then so it's like inaudible. She didn't know what he was said. I asked Nicholas if Gypsy knew he was coming to kill Dee Dee, and Nicholas stated yes. And I asked Nicholas why they had decided to stab Dee Dee instead of poisoning her, shooting her, or
Mm-hmm.
beating her with a bat. Nice options there,
Mm-hmm.
Holly. Like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas explained neither he nor Gypsy would have known how to poison Dee Dee. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, Nick. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
so sure about that. Nicholas said Gypsy looked up multiple times of how to do it because she wanted to find the quickest way. The quickest way, guys. The quickest way. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you had the quickest way right there in your freaking hand, right there, the freaking injection of extra freaking,
Insulin.
insulin, or possibly just don't give her insulin and she would go into a diabetic
Like
coma
shock. Yeah.
and die. Either way, giving too much insulin or not giving that much insulin would kill her. Either way. But no, don't, that's not quick. That's
Mm.
that's not the quickest way. Let's get a knife.
A
You know,
serrated one. A serrated knife.
a serrated knife. Yeah, so that's for even more.
Mm-hmm.
And because there were no knives in her entire house, although they have an entire drawer of fucking knives that would be suitable for killing her mama. Like, you didn't think a butcher knife would be? Yes, I personally know them, unfortunately. Yes,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I do. Yes. So Nicholas said the reason we chose the knife is because I guess she thought it would be quicker if she bled out quickly. More
Wow.
holes, the faster. Oh, here, this is interesting. More holes, the faster they go away, and the faster they are at peace. So that could be the 17, explaining to him, see, there's 17 wounds
Mm-hmm.
because. Mhm. Nicholas confirmed this is what he thought Gypsy was thinking when she mentioned the stabbing. He clarified Gypsy never said those exact words to him, though, but that's basically what he was thinking she meant. So Nicholas also clarified on the day that he killed Dee Dee, he arrived at Dee Dee's home via a yellow taxi cab. Nicholas said the taxi picked him up from his hotel room and dropped him off at Dee Dee and Gypsy's home, located on Volunteer Way. Nicholas said when he arrived at Dee and Gypsy's home, Gypsy was the one who let him inside the home. Now, she and he both talk about him going through the front door, but the taxi cab driver that actually saw him said that he went around back, and the only back door there is that side door into the kitchen. So I'm wondering again, how would he have gotten in there with all that shit in there without making a racket if that shit really wasn't there until
Mm-hmm.
afterwards?
Yep.
And beyond that, yes, I know he said that the place was a mess, but I wonder how much of a mess to him is a mess and how much of a mess to someone else is a mess, because people had keys to the house and they were in that house. So maybe they took all the stuff and threw it into all those rooms to make it look like that. You know, just saying there was 4 days that someone else could have completely screwed that house up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. 4 days is a long time.
Yeah. So I asked Nicholas where he got the knife to stab Dee. Nicholas said Gypsy had bought the knife for him and she had it waiting for him when he arrived in Springfield, Missouri. Nicholas explained Gypsy had bought the knife online. Nicholas later changed his story and stated Gypsy had found a way to purchase the knife from a Walmart. You mean steal the knife from a Walmart? Nicholas described the knife as having a red and black handle. Nicholas described the handle of the knife as being squishy. He said one of the knife was smooth. One side of the knife was smooth and the other was jagged. Nicholas said he could hold the knife with one hand. One hand. So remember, we were thinking maybe it was two hands. Nope, one hand. Uh, so, uh, Nicholas said in regards to the knife he had used to stab Dee Dee, he and Gypsy mailed the knife from Springfield, Missouri to his address in Big Bend, Wisconsin. Nicholas said a taxi had taken him and Gypsy to a post office to mail the package. Oh, we didn't know that before. I did not remember seeing that before.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Wyatt.
Love you.
Wyatt.
Okay. So that's interesting. So they did take the taxi to the post office, according to Nick. Nick said the knife did arrive at his home in Big Bend, Wisconsin. Nicholas said his stepdad was the one who got the package with the knife from the mailbox. Nicholas said his stepdad gave the package to Gypsy and Gypsy brought it to him. Nicholas said his stepdad had no idea it was a knife in the package, hence the reason why they said they didn't think there were any weapons in the house. Nicholas said the knife was still in the package and it had been mailed in and the package was unopened. Nicholas explained that Gypsy had that all set up. Yeah, I bet she did, Nick. Nicholas explained Gypsy had the material to mail the knife and had written the address on the envelope the knife was mailed in. He said the knife was packaged in bubble wrap and a brown envelope. He said she put it in 2 of them. Nicholas said it was both of their idea to mail the knife because they planned to over time get rid of the knife permanently. Nicholas said he was stabbing Dee. Dee was lying on her stomach in her bed within her bedroom. Nicholas said Dee was wearing a nightgown, no panties, and was barely covered with blankets. So we've seen different stages of these blankets. The first officer said that they were just just up to her waist. Nicholas says she's barely covered. And then I know there is a picture that shows almost all the way up to the top are the sheets where all you see is the top of Dee Dee's head like this.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So easy access to her body. I asked Nicholas where the first place was that he stabbed Dee Dee. Nicholas said he stabbed her in a random spot in her back. I asked Nicholas how many times he stabbed Dee, and he responded 4 while holding up 4 fingers on his left hand. Nicholas said the 4th I felt go into, I think might have gone into her lungs because it was harder to get out. Nicholas explained he had to yank the knife out using one hand. Nicholas explained as far as stabbing, he only stabbed Dee Dee 4 times, but he stated he did cut her. Nicholas explained he cut Dee Dee on the back of her neck. That's not exactly what he said, but whatever. Nicholas said he did see blood on Dee Dee's neck after he cut her. So he's admitting to 4 stabs. He's admitting to the cut across the back of the neck. He says that he only used one hand. So that's interesting.
Yeah, the one hand thing that I picked up on that too.
Right. The blue nightgown is not the nightgown that she was in when she got killed. Too much about presentation and principal brat who was too busy on her laptop. Yeah, for sure. But I also think that Dee Dee had been wearing the mammy dresses for a very long time, the muumuus, because they're comfortable for a larger person. And she didn't have, it's easier to throw on a muumuu than try to find clothes that fit you when you're, 300-400 pounds, So, good. Have a good night, Vanessa. Celebrate your 3rd anniversary. Yay.
Yeah, congrats, Vanessa. Thanks for stopping
Congrats, babe. Thanks. And the no panties thing, that's my grandmother used to tell me you needed to air it out at night, honey. So it's not unlikely that that's what that was for. But yeah, Dee Dee was not in good health. She did not feel good. She wasn't putting on her makeup anymore. She
Appreciate
wasn't
you, Vanessa.
any of that, So
exactly.
And then I asked Nicholas if he could have stabbed Dee Dee more than 4 times. Nick first stated that he was not aware of stabbing Dee Dee more than 4 times. And then I think he realizes, oh shit, if they're telling me there are more stabs than 4, then crap. Maybe there was a possibility that I did more than 4. I don't know. Maybe just in case because he is 100% willing to die on the sword for her. Remember, he would do anything.
He's going to take your fall no matter what.
Yeah. He would do anything for her. Nicholas said he counted the ones that went in deep, but he did not count other ones. Nicholas said he cannot remember everywhere he stabbed Dee Dee because he thought it's a blockage because of the guilt. Oh, God.
Yep.
Nicholas denied Gypsy ever stabbed Dee Dee. He explained she couldn't do it. That's the reason she asked me to. I asked Nicholas where Gypsy was when he was stabbing Dee Dee. Nicholas said Gypsy was hiding in the bathroom. Nicholas explained Gypsy was hiding because she did not know if Dee Dee would actually end up killing him. Nice, Gyps. Just so nice. So Nicholas went on to explain that she didn't believe I could actually do it. That's what I think it was. She didn't think I was capable of it, which would mean maybe she did it for you, Nicholas, just in case. I asked Nicholas whose deception was it that Gypsy would hide, or whose decision was it that Gypsy would hide in the bathroom while he was stabbing Dee. Nicholas said it was Gypsy's decision to hide in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas said Gypsy went in the bathroom and locked the bathroom door. Oh, but wait a minute. I thought that Nicholas pushed you in there and then locked the door as
And
he
then
was
locked
closing
her
it
in.
for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
locked her in. Nicholas said he did not ever allow Gypsy to see Dee Dee after she had killed her because he did not want Gypsy to be traumatized. Don't believe that at all. Not even a little bit, Nicholas. I'm sorry. Nicholas said while he had spoke to Gypsy about graping Dee Dee, he did not grape her and he did not touch her body, dead or alive, in any sexual manner. Nicholas thought that it was disturbing for people to have sex with dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas said after he was done stabbing Dee Dee, he went to the bathroom door where Gypsy was hiding. He said that he had set up a code prior to Gypsy locking herself in the bathroom so Gypsy would know it was him and not Dee Dee at the bathroom door. Thank you so much, Celeste. I love
Yes. Thank you.
You're so sweet. Um, uh, Nicholas went on to explain the code he and Gypsy had come up with was that he was to knock 3 times and scratch 2 times on the bathroom door, which would signal to Gypsy that it was him outside the bathroom door. Nicholas said they had discussed several ideas, but the 3 knocks and the 2 scratches was the one that stuck with.
You too,
Nicholas
Celeste.
explained Gypsy did not open the door right away after he had killed Dee Dee and given the signal for her to open the door. Instead, she wanted to shave her private parts and her legs, despite the fact that for the last 2 days she's been shaving her private parts and her legs. And in 2024, she comes up out with the whopper of a story that I told Nicholas I never got to do that before, but actually my mom was shaving me the whole time on my hoo-ha because it made me younger. Who in the hell
Oh my
is looking at
Christ.
your hoo-ha to make you seem younger, Gyps? That is a weird statement.
A lot of it, you hit puberty when you're like 12, 13 anyways. Like, what is wrong with her?
Right. No, she's just trying to make Gypsy's or Dee Dee seem the worst in the freaking world.
Oh my God, just.
So that's the 4th time she shaved her private and her legs in 2 days, as well as making peace with her mom 3 times, and she's ready to go with Nicholas and give her everything to him. Yeah, she just is a girl like Miracle Grass. Exactly.
She got
Is she a
chia pet down there.
I was gonna say, did she have a chia pet down there? Great minds think alike.
Chia pet.
Oh, Jesus.
Jinx, girl, jinx.
I asked Nicholas if he made Gypsy shave her legs and vagina, and Nicholas said, I think it's a combination of both of us. I mean, I wanted her to. I'll be honest. I did want her to, but I think she wanted to do it also because she wanted to make sure that she pleased me, made me happy. Nicholas said after Gypsy shaved her private parts and her legs, they started cleaning up around the house. And Nicholas said Gypsy was completely naked when she cleaned up the blood. Nicholas explained that they were cleaning up anything that has memories of her, Nicholas said. So here's where she's going to start throwing shit in the trash that makes her look like an adult. Anything that made her adult. Yes. No, we're on live.
I have an interesting theory
Yes.
about the whole Ryan thing, the husband.
Okay.
What if from the very beginning that she started talking to him, she had a plan to use him as a cover up for the fact that she was still talking to Ken, and then when he found out about that, because he genuinely seemed like he was interested in her,
Right.
when he found out about that and started flipping out about it because she was cheating on him,
Mm-hmm.
she had to turn it to, well, how can I make this so it doesn't seem like I'm in the wrong? I'm
Right.
cheating on him with another man,
Right.
your ex even.
Right.
How do I make it seem like I'm not in the wrong? Well, say that he was abusive and I
Right.
had no choice but to be talking to another man for solace.
For solace and
And comfort.
and maybe for safety. Ken,
Exactly.
please come save me.
Right.
He's abusing me. Yeah.
I
Oh,
had
for
to lock myself in the bathroom again.
bathroom.
I don't know if I want this to be heard on live, but I mean, or go on record or anything. I wouldn't be very surprised if the next time that we might see Gypsy pop up in the news.
Yeah, Em, that's true. You know,
Okay.
just because
So
she texted that doesn't mean
you've
she was
talked about
doing that.
So
Right.
what Abby just said was
Uh-huh.
she says she wouldn't be surprised if the next time she shows up in like the news again is Gypsy Rose murders again, ex-husband Ryan dead with and Ken helped, like the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, because that's she used that abusive thing, so when they're fighting over this baby, she could easily set up Ken.
Also, I would like to add to the
I
big dog.
swear to God,
Yeah.
if this baby's Ryan's, oh my word,
What?
I'm going to laugh so hard.
If she's not actually pregnant and it's a hoax, she's gonna get one of those realistic baby dolls.
Oh,
and she's gonna start posting pictures of it. And then when people start asking her, "Can we see videos of the baby?" they're gonna be like, "She's sleeping." Right. The baby's sleeping right now. Why is the baby always sleeping, Gypsy? So if the baby's always sleeping,
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a good point, Abs. A real born baby, the real born babies, yeah.
born again.
And dude, they literally do look real.
Girl, that baby doll she had in her room, oh, I couldn't look at it very long.
That baby was always scary. Okay,
Like,
so
yeah.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, now she took some pictures away and she actually threw them in the trash. She tried to get rid of things that would give you guys the idea that she really lived there. Nicholas said they did clean up blood, stating, "I believe it must have been mine because I actually stabbed myself in the process." Nicholas showed his right index finger, which had a small bandage on it. Nicholas also pointed out an area on his left forearm, which was bandaged. Nicholas said it had been injured during the killing of Dee Dee. However, the injury had been injured again when he was taken into custody by the Waukesha County law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Gypsy cleaning up the blood in the nude was not to have blood on her? Yeah, for sure.
That's the first thing I thought.
Oh, she does have my mind, Mama Bear. My kid is wicked smart. Trust me. All three of my girls are. So Nicholas continued talking about the cleanup up that occurred at Dee's home. Did you want to say something else?
Oh, just the wicked smart thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go on record for saying multiple times to Tori, I'm smarter than you. Don't talk to me like that.
I'm smarter than you.
I'm slamming
I'm
the door in your
very
face.
concerned about the baby, Kathy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Nicholas continued talking about the cleanup that occurred at Dee Dee's home. Nicholas said for a while he and Gypsy cleaned together, but then because Gypsy wanted to get the cleanup done faster, she started cleaning by herself. How does that make it faster? Nicholas said Gypsy used a cleaner or an odor remover. He said the bottle Gypsy used to clean up the blood was reddish in color, and that is what is back. Okay, so that is behind the white shelving system in the actual kitchen, and behind the
Mhm.
back door, she had that is that the reddish bottle of carpet cleaner is notated, and then on top of that there's a bowl that they said that there was carpet cleaner in that was still wet that she had used to, like, clean it like this, but that carpet cleaner too. So
Mm.
so Nicholas said there was liquid in the reddish bottle, and Gypsy poured the liquid on the blood. And Nicholas said Gypsy then used a paper towel and or wipes to clean the blood. Having been told the crime scene contained spray bottles with a blue in color liquid in them, I asked Nicholas about the spray bottles that had been located inside of Dee Dee's residence, and Nicholas could not recall seeing the spray bottles. Well,
Interesting.
they were everywhere. They were in the hallway. I wonder if Nicholas saw that hat in the hallway. Like, this doesn't make sense again.
I
Because if
know.
those bottles were all over the house, surely as Nicholas walked down the hallway, he would have seen
Mhm.
it. I mean, I do understand that the lights were supposedly off, but wouldn't he have then kicked it over? Like,
I don't know. I think his adrenaline had to been off the charts.
Well, I also think that those could have been there again if they were going, if somebody else went into the house after they left and made it look
True.
like that.
Yes.
Maybe they tried to clean up the blood and they still couldn't clean up the blood because there is blood all over the place.
And maybe
Funny
somebody
that
else
it's not
messed up the house.
right. Funny it's not in the bedroom, but it's everywhere else.
Mhm.
I think it's hilarious that they took a piece of carpet from the bedroom that looked like it had nothing on it, and yet all through the hallway there is obvious blood stains on the freaking floor, and the police were like, yeah, we don't need those. We
Yeah,
don't need
no.
those for any reason. They're not suspicious.
Up high on
Oh,
the cupboards in the kitchen.
right,
But
right, right.
there were more
Um,
reports and markers of
yeah,
of
of blood
the
everywhere
red
else,
stuff
but
whatever in the kitchen than there
yeah,
was in the actual bedroom that Dee Dee was in.
yeah, right, for sure, for sure. Why wouldn't you clean good? Well, I mean, it is very hard to get blood out of things once it's there.
Peroxide works.
Peroxide works, but I don't know
Yeah.
if Jip Googled that or not.
I don't think
So,
she knows that little wives' tale.
right. So Nicholas said after Gypsy cleaned up the blood, she wanted to have sex with him. Nicholas explained he and Gypsy had all of them on Gypsy's bed within her bedroom. Nicholas described Gypsy's bed as being full of stuffed
Mm.
animals. He made me take my toys off and throw them on the ground. Oh my God. He said they moved the stuffed animals off the bed, and after they had sex, they put the stuffed animals back on the bed. Nick said the sex between me and Gypsy was consensual. He raped me. I asked Nicholas if Dee was making any noise or if she was dead when he and Gypsy were having sex. Nicholas responded she was probably long gone by then. Nicholas said he did not ejaculate during his sex with Gypsy, nor at any other time while inside the Blanchard home. Nicholas said he felt he may have had too much stamina or endurance or something like that because it took a lot to even get him close. And Nicholas said the sex with Gypsy concluded when she finished, and she then performed oral on him. He said after having sex, they realized there was a lot of packing and stuff they needed to get done. And he threw all my clothes into a suitcase and said, let's go. Yeah. Yeah. You know, he threw up against the wall, all that. Nicholas said after having sex, they had a lot of packing to do. He said they began packing Gypsy's clothing, movies, and whatever she thought of we would need pretty much. Nicholas said some of the movies they packed away were Game of Thrones and True Blood. I've only seen Disney movies. Nicholas said the stuff they gathered during packing was placed in Gypsy's pink suitcase and a black backpack, which Nicholas described as being black with writing on it. Faith book. Do you guys understand that? Her freaking backpack says Faith book on it. Just so you guys know. Just so you know. Nicholas said after they packed everything they wished to take from the home, Gypsy began cleaning things in an attempt to get rid of all of his fingerprints. Nicholas explained Gypsy used a disinfectant wipe and patted down all the areas that he may have touched. Nicholas said Gypsy did this because she did not want him to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas said he did not help Gypsy clean because they did not want to take a chance of him getting fingerprints anywhere else in the home. I asked Nicholas if the Blanchard home was neat and orderly. Nicholas said, no, it's not at all. That was my first time ever in their house, and I can't believe how much of a pigsty it was. Nicholas went on to explain that so this room was cleared out. Nicholas went on to explain that one room of the house had so much stuff in it that it was hard to even get into the room. I want to know why they would have even tried to get into that room. Unless they were looking for something to take, I guess. Nicholas said in Dee Dee's bedroom, there was stuff stacked on the floor along the edge of the bed. He doesn't talk about how there's everything else. It's just stacked on the floor along the edge of the bed. Not all that shit everywhere else. He doesn't mention that. Having been advised a purple Barney doll had been located in bed next to Dee Dee, I asked Nicholas if he ever recalled seeing a purple Barney doll. Nicholas initially said he did and that it was in Gypsy's room. However, after giving it some thought, he could not recall where he had seen it in the home. And then later he stated he had not seen the doll. So he's trying so hard to fit the narrative into whatever Gypsy's telling them in the other room. And he's not doing the greatest job of this. That's why it was supposed to be an approved story. And he realized he was being screwed, but I don't think he realized why or what or how much. So then Nicholas said after packing and cleaning, he used his cell phone to call a taxi because, you should totally do that at the place that you've killed somebody so it can ping right there. Nicholas said a yellow in color taxi came to Blanchard home to pick him up and Gypsy up. Nicholas could not recall the exact date the taxi came, but he explained the sun was coming up when the taxi picked them up. Nicholas said the taxi took him and Gypsy back to his hotel, which, as he stated earlier in the interview, was the Days Inn in Springfield, Missouri. Nicholas said he was in room 227. Nicholas said after arriving at the hotel room, they relaxed and cuddled in the bed. Nicholas said they talked about their future and about having a family together. Because I know when I kill somebody, I immediately think about the baby I'm going to have with them. Nicholas said, we thought we really had a chance to do it. We were really happy about that. Nicholas said the cuddling led to him and Gypsy again having sex. He didn't finish that time either because he was having trouble the entire time he was in Springfield. I asked Nicholas if he had got blood on the clothing he was wearing at the time he killed Dee Dee. He said he had, and that he did not clean his clothing. Nicholas said he was wearing a black spin jacket, black shirt, black pants, and white tennis shoes. There was a little bit of blood on his tennis shoes. The black shirt had crazy clowns on it. Nicholas said the clothing and shoes he wore when he killed Dee were at his home in Big Bend, Wisconsin, within his bedroom. Nicholas said his bedroom is located in the upstairs portion of his home, adding the walls, the room are purple. Nicholas said the clothing was still contained inside the red and black marble duffel bag and clothing had not been washed. Nicholas said when he and Gypsy had sex in her bedroom, it was not the first time he and Gypsy had had sex. Nicholas explained when he visited Gypsy in Springfield, Missouri in March of 2015, he and Gypsy had sex in a bathroom within a movie theater. Nicholas said Gypsy was wearing a blue Cinderella dress and a blonde wig when he had sex with her in the bathroom of the theater. Nicholas said he took Gypsy's V card. He did not when he had sex with her in the men's bathroom. Nicholas explained on March 2015 was also the first time he had ever met Dee Dee. Nicholas said Dee Dee was very nice to him. However, the night got ruined in some way. And Nicholas said after he and Gypsy had sex in the bathroom, they watched the movie and he said his goodbyes to Gypsy. So I wonder how the night got ruined in some way. Like, maybe that's when she came back and Dee Dee was like, we're going home. You're doing whatever, and I'm not going to have this again. Like, whatever.
You just took entirely too long with wherever you just went.
Right. Where did you go? And that boy was with you. Were you doing it with him too? Dan says he did. He was the one that took her V card. But I'm not even sure of that, dude. Like, seriously. Nicholas said Gypsy was in a wheelchair when he met her in March 2015. Nicholas said Gypsy only had to be in a wheelchair at home. He had to be in a wheelchair at home. He said only he and 5 other people knew Gypsy could walk. 5 whole other people. 5. 5.
Mm-hmm.
5.
And not one
Nicholas
of those people could say anything.
could say anything? Right. Nicholas
Uh-huh.
explained further, stating Dee Dee wanted everyone to think Gypsy was 16 and disabled. He said, yeah, she felt kind of trapped on a wheelchair when I was actually trying to encourage her to be able to walk more and more. Funny, she could walk just fine, Nick. Just fine. She didn't have any problems with gravity like she claimed, and just fine. So that means she was walking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas described the wheelchair as being motorized. Nicholas said Gypsy has no problem walking and can walk up and down stairs all without any assistance. But gravity, the gravity, Nicholas, the gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kane, there is something where at one point in time she said that she put his stuff into her, or he put his stuff into her, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anymore. So Nicholas explained when he first came to Springfield, Missouri in March 2015, and then he took second time in June 2015. Gypsy paid for his travels to and from Springfield, Missouri. Nick said Gypsy sent him cash in the mail for both trips. Each time, Gypsy sent him $400. That's not what was stolen from the safe, so she probably was squirreling away money. Nicholas said in reference to killing Dee, he had weird feelings he was going to get caught. And Nicholas said he was not sure when it was going to happen, but he had a weird feeling in his stomach that he would. Should have gone with that, Nicholas. You should have gone with that.
Always trust your gut. Always
Right?
trust your gut.
Yeah. Nicholas said he and Gypsy had cried multiple times over what happened. Nicholas said, I told her this will haunt me for the rest of my life because that's the truth. It will. While clarifying questions, Nicholas said when he arrived at Gypsy's home in the night, he stabbed Dee Dee. Gypsy met him at the front door. That's not how it went, but maybe he went around back and then he couldn't get in and he came to the front door. I don't know. Nicholas said Gypsy was wearing a long brunette wig. He said she already had the knife and a pair of blue-green gloves for him to put on. Nicholas said Gypsy had not been wearing gloves at the time.
I'm sorry, what wig was she wearing? What color?
Brown.
Okay.
That's the same one she probably wears in the videos.
Yeah. I was just making sure she wasn't changing her little,
right into the red one
during this.
Because if it was Ruby, she would have had the red one on. So everybody keeps saying Nicholas you didn't ask if Dee Dee did it or not, or if Ruby did it or not. Well, folks, I think that pretty much rules out that because he would have said that she had a red wig on or a red and black wig on. So
there you go.
So there you go. So maybe Kitty did it? No, whatever. Nicholas said he and Gypsy had gone to a Waffle House restaurant to eat while they were in Springfield. Meanwhile, earlier he said, they never went anywhere. So again, Nicholas can lie. It does prove that he can lie. He said the Waffle House was located right next to the Days Inn Hotel, and he and Gypsy had been staying at. Nicholas said while he cannot recall the exact day, he did recall it was around 8 a.m. Nicholas said he was able to remember the time frame because this was at a time he reminded that Gypsy is lactose intolerant.
Jesus Lord.
Drank milk. Nicholas said he ate a steak and cheese omelet with raisin toast and hash and rounds. I asked Nicholas if when he got to Dee Dee's Gypsy's home, he knew he was going to kill Dee Dee. Nicholas responded, I pretty much at that point, I made my mind up that that's the only option at this point. So I just went right for it. And I had a latex glove on, something like that. So to try and hide my fingerprints, which is interesting that she was trying to wipe down his fingerprints. If he had gloves on the whole time, there wouldn't be any fingerprints for her to wipe down. So just saying. Nicholas explained when he arrived at Gypsy and Dee's home and Gypsy led him inside, Dee Dee was asleep. Hey, Eliza. He said Gypsy handed him 2 latex gloves, which he described as bluish green color, turquoise. He said then Gypsy handed not a slow guy. He has what wig was Bella? I think Bella
it was a short brown one, right?
Kitty had the brown wigs. Right. Yeah. I asked Nicholas if Gypsy had gloves on when she handed him the knife. Nicholas responded, nope, her fingerprints will be on the knife. Nicholas continued by explaining Gypsy had not been wearing gloves when she handed him the knife. I asked
Mhm.
Nicholas if he put the latex gloves on inside or outside the home. Nicholas explained he put the gloves on outside the home as he was walking in. Nicholas explained it was part of our plan, and she's the one that thought of that part of the plan. I told her to get her butt into the bathroom because that's where she wanted what she wanted to do. And I had to remind her to get to it right away because I wanted to get this over with and get out of there as soon as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a third glove in the garbage can. It did have blood on it. You're right. Nicholas denied he ever went into, ooh, ooh. Do you see what I'm seeing here?
Mhm.
Nicholas denied he ever went into a shed that was on the property at 2003 West Volunteer Way, and he denied ever getting into Dee Dee's vehicle.
Hmm.
Didn't go into the shed. Didn't go into the shed. Mhm. I asked Nicholas what type of sex he and Gypsy had been having. Nicholas explained he and Gypsy had been experimenting with it, and that while it had been rough, Gypsy had become used to it and she enjoys it. Yeah, she already did. Nicholas explained further that the sex was violent, rough. Nicholas said while he has never struck Gypsy in a violent way, he has bitten her and he has used all his force when thrusting. Yes, yeah, thrusting his unit into Gypsy's unit. Hold on, I'm turning on the air. Okay. We're not going to get to go to TikTok tonight, but that's okay. We'll do it tomorrow during the day or something.
That's fine.
Yeah. Um, he said, Nicholas said with regard to biting Gypsy, she would have marks and or bruises on her body from the biting because she had asked him to do that in a way to mark my territory. Um, Nicholas said the first time he had bitten Gypsy, it was because she had whispered in his ear, "The biting is a turn on of mine."
Mhm.
Nicholas said he had only bitten Gypsy twice, and while he could not recall the first time, he did recall the second bite was on her right arm. Nicholas explained Gypsy seemed to enjoy the second bite, even though he thought it was a very hard bite.
And that was that was setting him up too, putting
Yep.
marks on her body like that.
Yep, yep. I asked Nicholas about bruising that had been observed on Gypsy's knees and legs. Nicholas said they may have occurred when Gypsy was crawling around on the floor, cleaning the blood up at her and Dee Dee's home in Springfield, Missouri. I asked, yeah, a bit like a vampire, right?
Mhm.
I
Yep.
asked Nicholas if he had asked Gypsy to clean naked, to which he stated he had, and then it was a turn on for him. Nicholas said, well, he did ask Gypsy to clean while naked and crawling on her hands and knees. She did find it easier because she was at eye level with the things that needed to be cleaned. But if it all happened in the bedroom with the knife and Mr. Godejohn, how was there blood everywhere else to clean?
Mhm.
That's interesting to me. Anyway, I asked Nicholas if he thought it would have been a turn on to have sex with Dee Dee. Nicholas stated that it was not a turn on. I explained to Nick that I was asking this question because at one point Gypsy had stated that he had mentioned he wanted to rape her mother. Nicholas said at one point I was thinking about it. I did actually mention that I was thinking about it, but then I changed my mind because I've had felt bad for just the whole situation.
Exactly, Rachel.
To
Yep.
kill her mom in general, so I just decided to just quickly kill her. But remember, Nicholas was the one who wanted to give her more and more painful ways of doing it. Meanwhile, he's trying to find faster ways. So,
Mhm.
Nicholas denies touching Dee in any sexual manner, either prior to or following her death. I asked Nicholas how long he thought it was that he was stabbing Dee Dee. Nicholas said maybe 5 minutes, maybe. I asked Nicholas if Dee got an opportunity to punch him or or hit him during the stabbing. Nicholas said Dee Dee was trying to grab onto him, but he was able to get himself free. Nicholas explained he was not on the side of Dee Dee while he was stabbing her. Rather, he was straddling Dee Dee as she lay on her stomach on the bed, which made it a lot harder for her to resist. Nicholas said Dee did try to put up a fight. No, there's no evidence of that. I asked Nicholas if he said anything to Dee while he was stabbing her. Nicholas said he did, and it was a lot different from myself, though. The thing is that I don't know if she told you. I don't know how much she told you about me, but the me you're talking to right now is my normal good self. And that's the reason I feel the guilt I do. But the one who actually did all this thing is I originally, the good side of me refused to do it. That's why it was instant, that it happened right away, because the good side of me refused to do it. Oh, because the evil side is what actually did it.
I
Nicholas
think
said
he's like 6 foot, Sunflower.
he is, yeah. Nicholas said the evil part of him told Dee Dee she was dead to him. Nicholas said many things were said to Dee Dee, but he could not remember them all. He did recall saying, "Stop resisting, you know you're dead." Nicholas said he has
Hi,
multiple
September.
personalities. However, he has never been diagnosed with such. Nicholas said while he does not take medication now, he used to take medication for the voices he heard in his head. Nicholas said Gypsy also had an evil side that she refers to as Ruby. Talking about Gypsy's evil side, Ruby, Nicholas recalled while stabbing Dee Dee, he told her, "Never get between me and Ruby." Nicholas went on to explain that Gypsy has another personality she liked to use called Kitty, which he explained is that of a little girl. And he said
Mhm.
also she uses candy. God. I asked Nicholas if the good part of him that he kept mentioning was what got him on a bus to travel to Springfield to kill Dee Dee. Nicholas said it was. However, the killing was solely the evil part of me. Nicholas said the killing of Dee was the only time his evil side has ever come out in his life. Nicholas said besides killing Dee, he has never harmed anyone else in his life. I asked Nicholas about Facebook posts that had been made from the Gypsy Blanchard's Facebook page with regards to someone being harmed. Nicholas said he does not know the password for the Facebook page and that the postings were made by Gypsy. Nicholas said Gypsy made the post prior to him having any knowledge of them, and she,
Mhm.
quote unquote, kind of surprised me with it. Nicholas said
Mhm.
Gypsy told him about the post. He thought, what the heck? She kind of freaked me out. And Nicholas said he felt Gypsy had made the post to speed up the process. Nicholas went on to explain he felt Gypsy wanted law enforcement to get involved more quickly and to get people's attention. I asked Nicholas if he and Gypsy hid anything other than the knife. Nicholas said they had hid money they had stolen from Dee. When Nicholas explained as being Gypsy and Dee's saving, Nicholas said he took the money from the bedroom after he had killed her. Don't believe that. He said when entering Dee's bedroom, make a quick right and there would be one dresser drawer. He said the money was in the drawer of the dresser. Then why the hell was the safe open?
Right.
Nicholas said the money was contained in a pouch. Nicholas said Gypsy had told him where the money was within the bedroom so he could retrieve it now listen, as she refused to go into the bedroom where Dee Dee was deceased. Now before he said that he didn't let her in there because he didn't want her traumatized, right? Right.
Right.
Oh, here's this part about the safe. Nicholas said in regards to the safe that was located in Dee Dee's bedroom, somehow Gypsy got it out of the safe because we had a lot of money. Nicholas said he and Gypsy took thousands of dollars and they had barely used any of the money. Nicholas said they intended on saving the money as a nest egg, and Nicholas said the money could be located in his bedroom with a backpack. In speaking with Nicholas about the money he and Gypsy spent, he confirmed he and Gypsy had gone to a Walmart located near his home, located near his hotel room. He said they went the day before they were to leave for Wisconsin. Nicholas said he purchased condoms, a 2 liter of 7-Up, and a lip balm. Funny. That was on his little note in his pocket. I would
Mhm.
think maybe Nicholas went by himself, but Nicholas said he went into the store. Oh, here we go. Nicholas said he went into the store alone because Gypsy had friends in the store and she knew someone would recognize her. Nicholas also stated he had gone to Walmart alone on one occasion. However, he could not recall the exact date. Nicholas said when Gypsy was with him, they took a taxi to Walmart. but I thought it was right there. Jeez. At 1:44:42 into the interview of Nicholas Godejohn, I stepped out of the room to speak with Greene County Sheriff's Office Detective Stan Hancock and review of the video footage while I was out of the room. It should be noted, Nicholas said, "Oh, I gotta tell her that. That's the only thing I can't think of in Audible. I didn't realize they were going to have a female talk to me. I didn't realize a female deputy or a detective. I'm so out of it. I'm so out of it. I am worried about our Gypsy, though. I'm going to ask her a question maybe she can explain to me and answer too. I'm going to ask her, besides being honorable, what does the truth? Where does the truth get me besides that? Because the reason I asked this is because me and Gypsy planned on lying our way through this because we didn't want to, because we didn't know how much you guys knew. If we knew how much you knew," Gypsy asking Stan I really don't know. You tell me. I don't know what happened, sir. He did not, hold on.
No, he doesn't tell, but he would never tell in this. No.
Right. Lying our way through this because we didn't want to, because we didn't know how much you guys knew. If we knew how much you knew, we would probably perfected it. At first, I did not know how much was known. And then until she came down, I'll wait for her though. Apparently she's going to come back in. At 1:48:10, while looking to the right, Nicholas appears to smile briefly, then looks towards the camera. Nicholas then begins talking aloud again, stating, "I don't know if I'm going to be able to see her. I really don't know." I entered into the back of the room at 1:48:42, at which time Nicholas wanted to know where telling the truth would get him. Besides being honorable, I explained that I could not answer that question. I asked Nicholas if he had ever killed anyone else, and he responded, "No, I know I haven't." And I asked Nicholas if he had ever thought about killing anyone, and Nicholas responded, "Well, I might have had the thoughts going in my head, but I haven't actually done it until it happened to Dee Dee." I asked Nicholas if he thought he would ever kill anyone else. Nicholas responded, "I can't see it happening." I asked Nicholas if after he had stabbed Dee Dee and had sex with Gypsy and they packed all of Gypsy's items, did they ever go back into Dee Dee's bedroom and move any of the blankets from Dee Dee's body? Nicholas denied ever moving the blankets on Dee Dee's body. Nicholas said neither he nor Gypsy called 911 in an attempt to get Dee Dee help. Nicholas said the first time his mother met Gypsy was at the bus station where she picked them up in Wisconsin. He said his parents think of him as the innocent type, so they would never have expected him to kill anyone. Nicholas said his family has never in 26 years seen him do anything evil. At the conclusion of my interview with Nicholas, I asked him if he had anything else he wished to talk about. Nicholas stated he did not, or that he did, and then he stated the reason he lied initially about what occurred was because he and Gypsy agreed on a lie story, and the reason I went with it, then I learned she told you everything, so I just let it all out. I asked Nicholas what he and Gypsy's lie story was. Nicholas said they were going to say that he had come to Springfield by bus, got a hotel, and Gypsy began texting him while she was on the streets. Gypsy was to act like she asked for the room number so she could go straight to his room. That's funny because none of that actually is in the text messages. So
No, it's not.
right. I asked Nicholas if he could go back and change anything, what would be changed? Nicholas said, "I would have. The thing is this is something me and Gypsy have talked about at least 100 times since we have been able to live together these days, that she has been able to be with me. I kept on going back and I kept asking her, because this is the question I kept on asking her. Before I asked her if I was the one who asked her before we did this killing that happened. I was the one who actually asked her, are you sure you wanted me to do this? And she said yes. And after she said yes, the rest of the story you already know. But the question I kept on asking her besides that, I asked her, are you willing to risk everything to have everything you ever wanted? And that's part of the reason why she risked her old life to have one with me. I explained to Nicholas that with all that he said, he did not answer the question. I again asked, would he engage? What he would change? I'm sorry, what he would change, if anything, about what has occurred? And Nicholas responded, "Oh, on how this happened. Oh gosh. Well, the thing is, I would rather not kill Dee Dee, the truth, because that's the part that's the main thing I regret the most out of this entire thing." And then at 2:02:45 into the interview, I can exit again the interview room, at which time Stan Hancock entered the room to take photographs of Nicholas. Please see his supplemental photo log reference his contacts with Nicholas. After Hancock finished photographing Nicholas and Hancock exited their interview room, leaving Nicholas alone inside the interview room, Nicholas said, "Just when they said detectives, it was plural." So he realizes that that guy was in with Gypsy the whole time, and he was in with Mahali the whole time. So he's like, fuck. I'm freaking screwed. I'm freaking screwed. I did that for her and only for her. Actually for us. So yeah, it was for us. I wouldn't have did it if it wasn't for us. She knew it was the only way to be up together. I would apologize to everyone except Dan. Dan is the only one I would not apologize to. Apparently, she decided to go with it, like, screw it, me. I actually held together until I learned she didn't lie. And I said, screw it. I'll just tell the truth too then. I really realized how screwed I am right now. It's inaudible. The thing is, if I tell the truth like I just did, yeah, it fucking sucks just having to say it. I really just want the best possible outcome to this as possible. I wonder what it is. I want to know what it is. She said she would get me the best blank for me as possible. I'm either thinking deal or lawyer. I don't know. The reason I said all this was because it's better to just let it all out. I honestly don't think there is anything else I can do anyway. I really don't like this situation at all. I mean, I feel horrible and I miss Gypsy. Don't get me wrong. The thing is, she kind of, I thought she was going to protect me, but then she told the truth. I don't know if she did it because she inaudible. I got a question for that lady. Does Gypsy even want to see me? If she did it, if she want, I feel like she betrayed me. Where is that lady? She said she would be right back. She is probably crying because she realizes she whatever. If someone really checking on Gypsy for me, please. I got this weird feeling she's freaking crying because what she did to me inaudible. I know the magic words to pleading. I'm going to use I'm thinking probably magic words. See if it works. I hope she comes back in here soon. I can't believe she gave me up. I can't believe this. I better be able to see Gypsy. I just want to be able to hold her, tell her probably I love her. Because think right now, you made me take the fall. You say you're sorry. You should have realized inaudible. Let me take the fall. It'll be the lonely night after night. It doesn't. I really wish that Gypsy could say hi to me. I wish I could just hold on to her, inaudible. To hurt as badly as I do, inaudible. Detectives, the thing I already feel guilty. There's no reason to punish me for something I'm already guilt of. Makes no sense punishing them for something they already know they're guilty of, meaning inaudible. There is no need to sentence me to anything. That's a one-time thing. I'll never kill again. I freaking waited 26 years to freaking kill one person. I hope that's the only person I ever have to kill. The DVD recording of my interview with Nicholas Godejohn has belonged into Greene County Sheriff's Office property. As evidence, the original Greene County Miranda form has been logged into the Greene County Sheriff's Office property as evidence. I think
Courtney.
that's the end of it. So,
yeah, the things he was saying when he was by himself is just heartbreaking.
Yeah. The door been bothering me a long time. Only door open is the bathroom. Right. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, there is a light on Dee Dee don't have a door. That's why the police couldn't see her in the bed, bloody from the report. Okay, so here's the thing. What I think is very interesting about that is Hughes says that's the one that we interviewed. She says that when he came out, he said that all the doors were closed and the only door that was open was the bathroom door. Um, and the only door that was open in the house, what no, they were all open. They were all open. Everything was open by the time they got in there. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no door on Dee Dee's door. So, and he says, well, the bathroom was the only thing I could see in, and Gypsy's wheelchair's in there. So you're telling me he walked down the hallway, he saw into the bathroom that there's a wheelchair, it's covered in freaking baby powder, fucking sus as fuck. The bathroom is sparkling clean compared to the rest of the freaking house, and he doesn't look across into Dee Dee's room because there's a door there? No, there is no door there. Well, maybe the light was off, but except there was a light on in the closet. So, no,
I know, Taco. I wish you would have.
like,
Because you know they were listening to what he was saying.
okay, I think I'm back now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we have one of our ladies she has experience with reading lips due to, is it her son that's deaf? Somebody is deaf. I can't remember who is deaf.
Mm-hmm.
With our person that was trying to figure out what he says in between those things. I'm also working with a couple people to raise the volume on those and cut out the background noise so we can transcribe what they say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the police, they don't say that they didn't see her in there because they didn't go in there in 12/12/18. And immediately the guy who says he breached the door and found her said he found her immediately. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the other thing. None of the police officers' accounting of anything matches up with the other police officers' accounting of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're all wrong. Everything is weird.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It just goes to show how everybody's perspective, whether it's botched, whether it was staged,
right.
whatever it was, whether it was just shoddy
Mhm.
work, everybody's perspective was so different.
Well, and there's even this one, okay, and I think it could be a typo, but there was an article back in 2015 that David did where he's talking about the fact that he didn't see Dee Dee's body. And there is a very good reason why he didn't see Dee Dee's body, but he can't talk about it. And then he goes on to say in that article, though, that Dee Dee was under the bed, is the way that they put it. And I
Right.
was like, how would she be under the bed? Did he mean under the
Mm-hmm.
covers of the
Mm-hmm.
bed? Or did they typo that? Because that's a really weird statement. She was under the bed. What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As if.
yeah, we don't,
As
yeah,
if.
as if. Yeah, why are there trinkets that are knocked down right under the window? She was fully seeing big woman light on shining at her. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was on Becca Scoops also. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. I am
Yeah.
right on that. Okay. Yeah. Becca Scoops did a great one on this last
She
name now.
really hurt. Yeah. If anybody here doesn't follow her, go follow her and watch her videos because put together.
Oh, well, that was weird.
Her and her old man, they really put it on good.
Sailor, I've never been able to find that information of what BDSM sex nightclubs he was DJing at. Could you could you possibly send that to me if you have any information
Taylor,
on that?
yeah, give us some of them
Yeah.
tips.
Right. So possibly typo under bed covers exactly, but
Okay, cool. Thank you,
it's
Sailor.
it's a weird thing that again makes me go, well, wait a minute. Why would there be some reason? They know the reason David didn't see her, but we can't talk about it because if it was just that she's under the covers, there's no reason you couldn't talk about that. Like, absolutely no reason. And then the sheriff goes on to say, and there is absolutely no reason for us to be suspicious that the neighbor went in the house at all, folks. Not at all. It's not
Mm-hmm.
suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I thought that or not Kendall, Becca did a great job of bringing up the previous fraud investigation that did happen in 2009. I
Mm-hmm.
was right about that. I knew, and that's why I didn't think she had the medical records, because we had never been able to find those reports, and
And
because
she
all
was
we
able to
had
get the CPS report, and that
Mhm.
man it just said it right
blows your
there.
mind.
They said
Yep.
right there she was faking.
Yep, they said it. Straight up said she's faking.
Yep.
So now I do disagree with Becca in some of the ways that she thinks that this went down. She is a supporter of it happened in the bed with the knife by Nick. I am not. I believe at very least something else took place. And the fact that the shed was mentioned again
Mm-hmm.
really gives me pause as to why they're asking
Mm-hmm.
about going to a shed. What was really found out there in that shed that they didn't document? Like, everything about this screams
That's
cover
right,
up to
Mama
me.
Bear. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And not only that, Dan Patterson goes on several different freaking documentaries before Nicholas goes to prison about talking about how Gypsy was so abused and blah blah freaking blah 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 blah. I
Mm-hmm.
think, Ara, that after Mike Stanfield, who, let me say this one more time, fuck Mike Stanfield.
Yeah. Wait, I
Fuck
don't think the
Mike
people in the
Stanfield.
back heard you. Fuck Mike
Fuck Mike
Stanfield.
Stanfield. Fuck that loser. Fuck him with
Seriously.
his dopey ears and
He
his
knew
weird
exactly what he
head.
was doing. I got nothing for that man.
Yeah, nothing. He knew exactly what he was
Gonna
doing.
villainize a woman that only wanted to take care of her daughter and give her everything, and you villainized her.
Yeah, and he's like, and now, she did a bad thing, but you know, she didn't know, and I've given her a chance at having a life. She'll we took this deal and she'll be able to come out at 32 years old, and
Exactly, Ara.
she'll be able to live a normal life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fucking piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You knew none of what you said was true. You knew you lied to HBO. You knew, maybe they didn't lie to HBO, but you knew you lied in HBO's story.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that, and you did all of that. Then you took all of that. You got her a freaking hell of a plea deal, and yes,
Mm-hmm.
we are looking into a lot of that, Ara, and his involvement has always been suspicious to me, that he wouldn't have known who she was or anything like that when she's the darling of the
And that
whole
he's
damn
still
town.
involved. Like,
Yeah,
why?
right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, guys, if you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, it's already 11:48, so maybe just 10 more minutes here and then we'll close it
Yeah.
down. Um yeah, she did think she was going to pin it all on Nick, and she just believed she was going to keep trying to play sick. Yeah.
Exactly,
I
Ara. And then when they took her to the hospital, she came out and she was fine. They took her to the hospital to get her checked out, and she was fine.
right.
But I have all these medical problems.
But she didn't say it to the very, very end.
Mm-hmm.
However, she was telling the detectives in Waukesha that she did have medical problems and blah 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 blah. But she first tried to say, "No, I'm
Hey,
perfectly
Llewellyn.
healthy." She tried to tell him, "Oh no, I'm perfectly healthy. I'm good. I'm okay." And then when they said, "But we know that you have all these medical conditions," she's like, "Oh well, yeah, okay, I do have those."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ah, why do I think Nick won't apologize to Dan? Because I think there is more to that story, and David
Mm-hmm.
Blanchard and Vigicon and Sebastian and
Mm-hmm.
all of it. I think there's a whole lot of shit to look into that, and we are trying
Mm-hmm.
to do that. And every time I try to, it's really funny because they shut down things every time I went, oh, sent it. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sailor. Let me
Sailor.
go grab. Hold on. Let me go see what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sir, I need a lawyer. Sir.
No effing shit.
Wow.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wow. Just wow. All right, I'm gonna pop them up on screen here.
Mm.
Ooh. Hold on.
We need to our research people need to see this.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Sir.
Oh, here. This is what I want. Okay.
I want a
So I want a lawyer. So
my
here's
favorite part of
Mr.
the whole interrogation is she knows she's fucked at that moment. She knows it.
Okay, so this is a post from David. This is what it says up there. I don't know if you guys can see it real well. Let me see. I can't scroll in on Facebook, but I will post them somewhere so you guys can see them.
Let me get my glasses.
This is him right here. Him saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm DJing at this place." And then look at this. Here is the place that he says DJing at Ground Zero, March 1st of 2010. Okay? March 1st of 2010. Ground Zero nightclub. Happening hangout with a gothic horror inspired atmosphere featuring dancing plus bondage shows.
Nice. It's got 4 stars too. I know where to go now for all my bondage needs.
And he was in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2010 doing that. So he was doing, he was all over the place. That's also during the period of time. That's also during the period of time that's also during the period of time that I think VisionCon was in different locations.
Interesting.
Wow. Yep. Interesting, right? I feel like that's all we need. That's all the confirmation we need he was involved. Yeah. I mean, allegedly, in our opinions, for entertainment and educational purposes
only.
I loved how she was listening under the door.
I swear to God, man, when she sat there and she sat there for a couple seconds and she's like, I'm fucked.
All of her personalities, Era, whatever, however you say your name, all of her personalities existed before Nick because Dan Glidewell testifies to that in Nick's appeal. Wow. He worked at a sex club.
I think she was making videos, is what I think. But that's just my opinion. Allegedly.
Allegedly. You know, for
but I
entertainment.
do. I think she was. And I think, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this David fella.
Who changed his story 4 or 5 times, 3 to 5 times that we know of. We have not seen what he said in the interrogation room. Mike Stanfield has. HBO did. You know, but we didn't.
Because
I didn't fully believe David was involved.
He wasn't like a neighbor. He lived like how far away? And his ass was there, and he went
5 minutes. He said
made sure he went into that house come hell or high water. He didn't care what they said to him.
Well, one of the detectives said he was already in the house and had been inside and came out before they got there, he said. So, I mean, it's all freaking wrong. Yeah, the toddler bed. Yep. Like what possible reason would they have a toddler bed out in that shed? She was 12 years old as the story went when she supposedly got, you know, the Habitat house. She was 17, but they said she was 12. Why is there a toddler bed in the fucking shed? Like, for what effing reason would there be
her little content? That's what for.
Right. Right. Telling you something happened in that shed. I don't know what it was. I don't know if that's where she found them. I don't I don't know.
I'm telling you what. I just can't believe the support and that she is an influencer of what on how to unalive your mom and how to screw over men and how to get married just so you can, you know. Oh, I love the fact though that the biggest reason this is all happening was because Ryan was getting all that money because Gypsy couldn't have it. So Christy steps in with Ken, and then she starts getting the money, and then the money can go to Gypsy.
Yeah, just like how Dee Dee put her on a trust fund.
It's still a freaking scam.
It is. It's all a scam. Sebastian, it's all a distraction. Thank you,
Yep.
Kimberly. It's all a distraction. Okay, so who's Sebastian? Sebastian, now we believe that we have taught, well, we have a person who is on our team that has talked to the cupcake lady that owns the cupcake shop that she was supposed to meet the man in public to go have cupcakes and smacks. You know, they were going to meet they're going to meet in a place together where he can watch her. So she knows that it's not okay. And she's just going to say goodbye to him. She wanted to have smacks with him, but she's going to take a hug and a kiss goodbye instead. You know, that's what she says. Right. So Sebastian, as the story goes, there's a story there. He's the only one that the cupcake owner says came in there on a weekly basis and would either have Dee Dee and Gypsy with him, and that's the only time she saw them in there, or he would come in with this other guy, and they would go and take Gypsy and her mama cupcakes every week. Really funny, since Gypsy has that sugar allergy, that nasty, nasty sugar allergy, you know.
The one that made her dance on the streets at Disney.
Right. But her mom was thrown out and she was free. So then, no, I don't know if it's Dan. I think it might be someone else. I think it might be his cousin or something. There's a lot of stuff about him, and he's a very bad dude.
Shady stuff.
But Sebastian, if you look here, if you guys look at the history, I always forget which one it's in. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. The web, like all the Wi-Fi's that log in to Dee Dee and Gypsy's sorry, I'm having a hard time with my stomach again. All right, so here we go. No, what I'm trying to go is to the drive. Hang on a second. I'll show you guys who he is. I'll show you guys who it is that is logging in. I'm not gonna walk to the drive. My drive. Okay, it's in crime scene photos. And I want to say it's inside the house is where I think I see it. I've seen it. Inside house. All right, and then this is the last thing we're going to do tonight, guys, because I'm beat and it's late and I don't want to keep my family any longer. I'm sure Amy's beat too. So
yeah, I'm a little bit sleepy.
I am too. We still have not got to watch the shows that we want to watch.
I know. We will.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the right one. All right, here we go. Mary, share my screen.
Glad you were here, Celeste. Thanks for being here.
All right, so here we go. Sebastian. Oh, wait, he spells it with an E this time.
Huh.
Here's Dino. That is one of her aliases, Dee Dee's aliases. Here's Gypsy's. DirecTV, Android, unknown. Sebastian. Dee Dee, Sebastian. Yeah. So Sebastian was using their Wi-Fi all the time.
An awful lot.
Well, there's way more than 6 devices that connect to that place, dude. And if you look at the crime scene photos, there's way more than one computer. There's multiple computers. There's multiple phones. There is multiple iPads or tablets. I mean, guys, I'm telling you. You know, see something. Let me pull that up. But one more time. It may take me a minute to find it. Let me search the drive and see if I can find what I'm looking for. Bertie. No. Neighbor. Red flyers. Neighbor. What did I put it under? I did a whole thing about the whole neighborhood and who is in the neighborhood and who is not in the neighborhood. Let me just see if I can figure out where I put that. Maybe it's in the original by proxy folder.
You're welcome. Yeah, Gypsy, she's out there, man. She's something.
I'm looking for, I swear, guys. Just give me a second. No, it's not in there either. I don't know if I can find it. Hold on. Let me go back into my drive over here because it's probably in here. Budget, no. Neighbors. I'll have to find it. I have it somewhere and I saw it just the other day, so I will find it again. I just don't know which one of the damn. I had a lot of, we moved things around a lot at one point in time and we had things stored in different parts of the drive.
Right.
You couldn't hold it all in one space.
Mhm.
Well, I've got one more place. Let me look one more place because I might have put it in here. Just one more time because I really do want to find this because I want to see if he's on this list. Because now I'm intrigued. I gotta see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if that's in here. If there's anything in it. No, my drive. Is that?
That could be
that's
too enchanted. That could be that's a possibility.
Yeah, just a second. What are we gonna do about milk? Chocolate? We don't have any. Yeah, but I don't know if we have any more. Just a second, guys.
Just do the.
Well, from what Nick said, 5 people knew. There was 5 people that she told him that knew she could walk. I think she did know that, and I think that she did know that they were going to track her to Nick's house because that's how they found him. She was posting those Facebook posts.
Yeah. Don't sit down there.
Yeah, and not just that. The fact that they all acted so surprised that she could walk. Right. Right.
All right, I'm back. Let me see if I have it in here. Just one little second here.
Yeah, of course they knew. Yeah, Celeste, I agree.
God, I saw it the other day. Where did I put it? Maybe in research documents. Hold on. Maybe that's where it is. I bet you that is where it is. Request a medical, discovery file, email, fundraising, medical records, pharmacy records, medical history. No, damn it. All right. Well, I can't find it, unfortunately. I'll find it. I'll find it tomorrow, and I'll be able to put it up for you guys to see.
Yeah, you can post it.
Yeah, because I looked at all the different people in the neighborhood. Like I pulled the property records, the public property records, and we went through all of that. And so we had a lot there. And I want to see if he's on that list because that would be very interesting. Because he had to have lived close by, or every week he's coming to bring her cupcakes, and then he gets to use the Wi-Fi for a little while. Maybe make a
Maybe
little
he
trip.
hung out in the shed with her.
I was gonna say make a little trip to the shed. Yeah, interesting, right? Right.
Sebastian.
Oh wait, let me see here. Let me see if this is where it is.
She's like that neighborhood girl that, you pay her 50 cents, she'll show you something.
50 cents for the peep show, right?
Right.
Like $75, $50, Grandpa, for 75. The wife can watch. That's from Pretty Woman, guys, if you don't know. All right. Well, I can't find what I'm looking for, and unfortunately, I don't know. Like we have things everywhere, so
Literally, we do.
We really do. And I even have stuff that I don't remember that I had people do in the beginning days, like collect all these names and collect all these names. Like I even have all of the people that went to high school with Nicholas. Like we went through and we wrote down, we got every single one of those, but we never got to reach out to anybody. And we probably should, because we could find people that could talk about Nick before all of this, because that's what we wanted. We were hoping that if we had all of his high school people, maybe somebody would be able to talk. Yes, Dan was supposedly helping her look for her while Gypsy was missing for 4 freaking hours in 2009. Yeah, I wonder who she was with. Supposedly it's that stormtrooper guy, but I mean 4 hours she could have been with any number of men. Just saying. And she has a thing for Star Wars because, she had to make sure that she got pregnant on May 4th. May 4th.
You would think she would name, Leia
Padma. Princess Padma or whatever, or Queen Padma. I know there's a Padma, right? Like Leia.
Or that weird one with the ears.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
I can't think of his name, but he said things weird. Yeah, I don't know. She says she's trying and she wants a chance to reinvent herself and blah blah blah. But you can't.
I'm wondering how Gypsy had a fake one mailed to her without Dee Dee finding it.
Yeah.
Well, according to her and Bobby Petrie, Dee Dee had a collection of them, and she used them on Gypsy and told everybody they were massagers for Gypsy. Really? This is my sus as fuck face. Nah, I call sus as fuck. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Little Bo Pete. Little Bo peeped. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
nothing surprises me either. Like I said, I said a couple of weeks ago or months ago, I said to Amy, I'm like, dude, they could tell me that aliens came down and inhabited Dee Dee's body, and they
Mhm.
beamed her up with a freaking beam to Mars, and I'd be like, yeah, sounds plausible.
Mhm. For
It's
real.
plausible. For real, it's possible, you know. So, where's the cow thing her mama buried? It's supposed to be in the backyard, but I don't believe it. And I don't know why they wouldn't have dug it up, but you know, hey,
Yeah.
she didn't bring that little joy thing out until, you know, prison confessions and shit. So, you know, she's just such a freaking weirdo.
Mhm.
Like, just the things she says, I just
She's
whoa, I just got here and
she's
heard
twisted. She's so twisted that it affects her appearance.
it does. It
Like,
does.
honest to God.
Hmm. Well, my grandmother always said, pretty as pretty does. She's
Mhm.
pretty ugly
She
inside and
sure
out.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. But remember, she's a straight six with a stripper bod.
Mhm. Mhm. She used to be an
Not out of
hourglass,
not
and
after
now she's
Aurora
a
gets done with you.
rectangle.
Now she's a rectangle. Now she's a circle.
That's what she said. Now I'm a rectangle.
What?
That's
When
never
did she
had
say that?
applesauce until I got pregnant.
And I've never been on a beach, and I've never swung on a swing.
I've
I've
never
never
tried
done.
pumpkin spice.
And never picked my advice. Maybe did you swing on a swing at Vision Con, Gyps, in someone's bedroom? Because I could hear that that might
No.
be something you did.
I bet she
Just like,
did.
bet you she did. Probably wasn't the same push though, you know.
Mm-mm.
Did you see her pumping her legs? She knew to pump her freaking legs, but she's never been on a swing and she's freaking out because the swing is going too fast. Then do you know how to stop that? Stop fucking pumping your legs.
Yeah. Drag your feet.
Most people who've never been on a swing before don't know how to pump their legs that well.
No.
Just
Well, he
saying.
was telling her, but still, I was like, girl, the
Girl, you look
screaming,
far
the dramatics of it was just, oh,
stupid. It was just, oh my God. I wanted to die watching it. I was like, oh, for Christ's sake. Does this bitch
we've
ever
discussed that,
stop?
Sherry, about if Dee Dee knew about her, sexual encounters, if she encouraged it or not. I don't know. I think that could have been what they were fighting about.
I think that is what they were fighting about. I think she did know about the sexual. In fact, we know she did because she found Gypsy at freaking VisionCon in 2009 at when she was 18 years old in that man's room, and they were in a state of sexual contact. So she did know. Yes, she knew about Dan. We knew she knew about Dan. That's what they were fighting about, was her boyfriend Dan, not her boyfriend Nick, her boyfriend fucking Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And and I think probably most exercise she's had in years.
Truly, truly. I mean, she's
There's a
gaining a
picture
little
on the
bit of
Dr. Phil
baby
show.
weight and her legs are going numb.
There's a picture on the Dr. Phil show with Gypsy on a swing when she was a child. Someone find it for me. Find it now, because I disproved her beach shit with the fact that she's on it. Dr. Phil, they showed it 4 times in the first 15 minutes. That same picture of her on the
But girl, I'm all over that when
And
we're
she
done.
originally said, um, it was photoshopped. So did Dr. Phil Photoshop it, Gypsy? And then Ken's like, well, wait, no, she was on a beach, but it's the first time she's walked on a beach on the open ocean. Really? Because I thought I remembered you saying, we're out here on the open ocean.
And learning how to swim with a freaking breaststroke. Give me a break.
Do you know what I saw when I saw that? Do you know what is her name? Charlotte Ray. Is it Charlotte Ray? She's
Yes, when she does the comedy act about her mom swimming.
and her mom swims me.
Yes.
How are you today, Debbie? Wonderful. That's what I saw. That was exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
Kick your legs, Gypsy. Kick your legs, Gypsy. Kick your legs. Carolyn Ray. That's her name. Carolyn Ray.
Yes,
Carolyn Ray from Sabrina the Teenage Witch as well.
Sabrina, yeah, that's what she was on.
My favorite joke from that is she goes, Carolyn, what finger is it that you give the people when they cut you off in traffic? And her mother goes, and she goes, the middle one, Mom. Why? She goes, well, did you use that one? She goes, no, but I think I got my point across. So then she says, I have like this visual of my mom, like with her pinky, like
Giving every finger that there is. Yeah.
just the pinky finger. No, she just does the pinky finger, like all different ways, like around the back of her head. Like,
I think I got my point across.
That's
It
my
may be the
favorite.
wrong finger, but you know what I'm saying.
It may be the wrong finger, but you got my point. I love Karen.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
her.
I don't buy it. I can't
my
believe
God, I
there's
love
people that do.
She's hilarious. Anyway, but that was what I thought of.
You have to teach me your swimming style. Teach me your swimming ways.
I've never held a pencil in my hand before. Like what are we? They literally told her that she needs to do a Gypsy's first series. Like, show them the first thing of this, show them the first thing of that, show them the first thing of this. I'm like, she wasn't okay. Look, she was not socialized. First of all, before she left for freaking for Missouri, she was with her family all the time. She had friends. They had people. They went to freaking. I never took a shower before. What do you mean? Did you not go to hotels all the time for the medical conferences? Yeah, I didn't know that you could turn it hot and cold. Look, you don't have to know that the hot and the colder are different knobs and take a shower, because a bathtub works exactly the same fucking way, Melissa Moore. I'd just like you to make sure you know that, Melissa. The bathtub in her house with the jets for her legs and everything. Yeah, it has a hot and a cold. And so she was able to know that hot and cold are usable. Just saying.
And
I'm just
also,
saying,
usually
Melissa.
when I'm teaching somebody how to swim, I'm in there with them. I'm not standing up above them going, do this, do this, do this. Yeah, just like that.
Except that
You
we
get in
have
there
her on a
with them.
floaty in a pool with no fucking people around her. That is obviously being taken from somebody above her on the ground. So you're telling me you've got a paralyzed freaking kid from the waist down, no
Yeah.
freaking floaties on, in a freaking donut, and nobody around. And if she had just fallen over, do you realize she would have drowned? Like, before Dee Dee could have got her big old butt down in there? Like, are you kidding me with this shit? Like, seriously? Seriously. Ugh.
Wait,
Got out of a hole yesterday and knows nothing about human life. Exactly.
Dave has been on other creators' lives?
Dave Godejohn or David Blanchard? Oh, no, you're talking about Dave Godejohn.
Godejohn?
Yeah. That what they're doing to that
He
man.
shouldn't. He shouldn't.
He
That's
shouldn't
all I
be.
gotta say. He shouldn't.
Nope, he shouldn't.
And I'm not saying
Natasha.
he needs to be on our platform or Morbid's platform or anybody
Nope.
else's platform.
No, he should be
shouldn't
on any
doing
of them.
anybody's. He shouldn't be doing
Natasha
anybody's.
and Naomi and the ones that haven't, Bree, should all be ashamed of themselves for that shit. And again, tell me how she's not communicating with Nicholas.
Yeah, they don't have tubs in prison. Exactly. Should take showers in prison.
Right. She had to take showers in prison, Melissa. I mean, they do have hot and cold in those showers too. I don't know if you know that or not. Like, who sits on a panel? She goes up on a panel to talk about Gypsy's freaking book. And the first thing that comes out of her mouth is that she didn't know how hot and cold knobs for the shower works. And she'd never seen an ice maker in her entire fucking life. That's funny. I thought she was at the hotel where there was an ice maker. Like, she's like,
And
she
people
didn't know
don't
that
think she was spoiled.
right. Like she's like, and so she was so excited about posting about her fridge with the ice maker. Would people think that that's bragging? No, Gypsy, people do it every fucking day. What are you talking about? You're excited about an appliance. Welcome to adulthood. Where I'm fucking happy when I got my first ice maker too. sure as shit posted that on Facebook. Yay, I've got an ice maker. But like by the
Adjust the
way,
water for me, Mom. Adjust the
by the
water
way,
for me, Mama.
I never saw a picture of the ice maker. Just so you guys know, I never saw a picture of the actual fridge and her being like, I've got an ice maker now. I never saw that. It didn't
Mhm.
happen. In her kitchen, it's red. She had a red ice maker in her kitchen. It's red. Oh, in her kitchen in her mom's house, I think that was a bread maker, but I don't know that they had tabletop ice makers in 2015. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I don't know. Who really the baby's father, and she's really going to be charged with new charges. I don't know, little Bo peeped. No idea. No freaking clue. Alrighty, guys. I think that's it. Yeah, it was a whole Mickey Mouse kitchen. Fucking weird.
Yeah, the
Anyway,
knobs are weird. It's almost like a trashed Willy Wonka house or something. It's really strange. The
I
stuff
was gonna
that's
call it like a circus fun house. Yeah, like
yeah, it's really bizarre.
it reminds me, honestly, of like if you go to Disney in Toontown, where I used to work in Toontown, they had the
Mhm.
houses of the characters in there. And
Mhm.
like
I've been there.
that's what it looks like inside those houses, like with weird knobs and like
Mhm.
caricature things. Like
Mhm.
that's what it reminded me, you know. Well, thank you, Kayla. I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks for
you
being here.
thank you guys for tipping the host. I appreciate everything that you guys do. And we go buy our book. We have 2 of them out on Amazon. It is coming to Barnes and Noble. I did not get to call them today, damn it. But it is coming to Barnes and Noble, hopefully some libraries
Thanks
and
for
other
being here, Em.
bookstores near you. And we are working on some pretty serious stuff right now. So we have a lot that we're going to have coming down the pipeline, I promise you. So keep on
Yes, we
coming back.
do.
So have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime. One dish at
One
a
dish
time.
at a time.
Bye, guys. Mwah.